But at least it uploads the video directly to YouTube, and we have a video afterwards already uploaded to YouTube.
Okay, we're good. We're live.
Sweet. Let me see.
I'm recording.
Oh my god, I can't believe this fucking worked.
That was the quickest we've started of recording ever. We're normally here for 20 minutes figuring everything out. So
now, last episode it did pause my something happened with my like if anyone stops, I mean, Josh, you won't have an issue with this, but Gene, if you or me, like if our GarageBand like stops recording at one point or something, just let us know because we have to stop, and I'm gonna have to work that in with editing.
Why would GarageBand stop recording?
It did something weird. I don't think it'll do it this time, but I don't know.
If you mess with your if your microphone becomes unplugged, so your computer detects a new microphone, it'll stop recording on GarageBand.
Weird.
Could be
that. Just if something weird, like I had to make sure my AirPods were connected before I did anything.
Yeah.
So okay, let me take a piss real quick. Hopefully this won't.
Oh wait, Dan, you're using your AirPod microphone, or
no,
I'm using my mic.
Oh, okay.
I'm just listening with my AirPods, so I can. All right, let me take a piss real quick, and
so we don't have to listen to him pee. So that's good.
Nice.
What you eating there, Josh? Dean?
Yeah, I got some popcorn. Nice. I made dinner, which is why I'm late. I'm like the designated chef of the household.
Nice.
And my chicken needed like a few more minutes, so I had to put it back in and tell Mary, I'm like, hey, my timer goes off. Go check my chicken.
Sorry, I literally just got home from work and just ate some leftover mac and cheese. So,
yeah. I generally, whatever I make for the day, it's Miriam's lunch for the next day, so I try to keep up with it.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's a good gig for her, at least.
Oh yeah, it's one. I mean, she's with the baby, so it's a trade-off.
Fair.
And then also, I'm like, hey, I need to go record my dumb little podcast with my dumb little friends. Can you watch the dumb little baby?
So, also, fair deal.
Yeah, no, it's like, I'm gonna go talk about nerd shit with my friends for 2 hours. Bye.
Yeah.
What's up?
I was thinking the other day, I was looking at like our Buzzsprout numbers, and Marissa's been watching Orange is the New Black, the prison show. And there was an episode where like all of the women prisoners were like listening to this dude's podcast. And I just had this thought run through my head of like, what if everyone that's listening to our podcast is in prison and it's all just prisoners is our fan base?
I think I would have no problem with that at all. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that's actually kind of cool.
Just a bunch of hardcore motherfuckers listening to us bitch about Star Wars. Would be pretty great.
Yeah. And like the one dude in there for tax fraud who looks like Paul Dano in the Batman. Like, what are you in for? Oh, I killed a man. What about you? Insider trading.
What about you? I was on a Reddit thread about Moses Ingram.
What about you? I clicked the wrong link and the FBI took my hard drive.
Lots of CP.
And then he gets beat up in the parking lot. Rightfully so.
All right. So welcome to Next Round on Me, everyone. I'm here with the boys.
The boys.
I am Homelander, and I'm joined here with my group of the 7. Josh, Starry, how are you doing today, sir? And are you ready to get into some Star Wars?
I'm so excited. I'm very excited. It's the most excited I've been in some time, which honestly, with everything going on in my life, I really need this. So very excited to be here. It's a good day. Is there a fire alarm going off? Did you burn the chicken? Gene, go take care of the chicken, dude. Just
Miriam's got it. It's our fire alarm will go off at the slightest hint of smoke. I'm gonna mute myself. Keep going.
Okay. Yes, I'm very excited.
I'll wait till if you're watching live, this is great.
Leave this in. How are you, Dan?
I'm good. I got to the gym this morning, and that's about it. That's the only thing that's meaningful.
Hey, that's a good start. You need that. I've been slacking lately still. After this week of work, I'll have some downtime and a break. So I'm definitely planning on going back myself here soon because I need it too. I miss it.
Yeah, I'm hoping not to do anything this weekend. It was crazy this past weekend with Father's Day and everything. So it's just another holiday every damn week. So
Dan's
Yeah,
a
feel
father,
that.
y'all. You made it
Father
sound
Dan.
like you had to celebrate it for yourself or something. I don't know.
No, just just always have to run around and do different things with everyone.
Yeah.
But Gene, what about you? Are you excited? How are you?
I'm good. I want to take a moment to shout out our. I'm so sorry.
It's like we have a
Jeez.
sensor bleep.
Dude.
Josh
the
just
slightest thing will set them off.
Gene, I told
I would
you.
I would
no-
unplug those things so fast. Just like get them, especially with a baby. Are you kidding?
It doesn't bother her.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
I said,
Doesn't
Gene,
bother
no hard R.
Oh, stop.
I was gonna shout out our fans at Midwestern Penitentiary, but I got cut off. No, I'm good. I've also been busy. Dan, I didn't go to the gym this morning, but I'm going after we were done recording. A part of me was going to go at like 8 a.m. and I just didn't. I slept instead.
Yeah, it would have been crowded anyway.
Was it? Was it crowded?
Well, at 8 a.m. by that time, it's pretty crowded.
I don't know. I went at 8 a.m. One day last week, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I honestly expected, you know what 6 p.m. looks like at the gym. It's just terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
I expected the same, and I was pleasantly surprised. But actually, the other day after we were done recording our boys episode, I went to the gym at like 11 p.m. and it was wonderful.
Oh, that does sound nice.
It's
no
so
one
good.
there.
Oh yeah, it was so great. But no, I'm good. I'm actually really excited to talk about these episodes as well. I have some thoughts about the finale, so we should, but whatever. We'll get into it.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're going to get into Obi-Wan Kenobi episode 4 through 6 in this episode. So, full spoilers ahead from here on out, just letting everyone know. And as far as any plugs or housekeeping, follow us on Instagram, Next Round On Me Pod, and like and subscribe, or I'll do bad things to myself.
Oh my God.
That's where we're at, folks. It's the attention economy.
Do it for Dan.
So yeah. All right. So Obi-Wan Kenobi episodes 4 through 6. If you guys just want to give us a brief, just kind of summary of where the show was at for you from 4 through 6, or just give us a little bit of what you think of the finale. I don't know who wants to go first.
I'll go
Gene, I
first because it
can't-
looks like Gene might still be dealing with a fire alarm.
Wait,
So
I can't hear
now
you.
his microphone's not working, so I'm going to give him some time, and I'll go first. So 4 through 6. So the one thing I wanted to talk about is basically the fact that I feel like after watching this, I know that I am biased, and I'm like, the way I'm approaching this, it's like I'm trying to figure out how to even say this. There were problems with the shows. I'm going to acknowledge those problems, but I was very willing to look past a lot of the issues, and I enjoyed the show. I feel like for the most part, I have pretty low expectations for movies and for TV shows and stuff because I like to enjoy the show. I don't like to be a movie or a TV critic. I like to enjoy shows, but I know that in this type of situation, we're going to critique, we're going to talk about the stuff that could have been different, that could have been better or whatever. But with all that being said, I really did enjoy this. The finale, definitely like seeing where we ended. Now looking back, I can kind of understand a little bit more. There's definitely some things I want to talk about that I would have changed now that I know how it ended. But yeah, I mean, I actually really enjoyed it. I'll say like Marvel is the one thing for me that I feel like I'm overly critical about, where I know I'm biased in a bad way towards that because I feel like everybody else enjoys it so much. So it's like I'm overly critical about that. So, but I really enjoyed 4 through 6, the finale, and yeah, I'm very excited to talk. I mean, more details about the finale and everything. But I enjoyed it. I really did. I didn't know I needed it, but I needed everything that the finale gave me. And yes, Gene.
All right.
Can we hear you? No, you're dead, dude. You're gone to the world.
Go to the cog. Go to the cog.
Hello?
Yep.
There you go. And you're back.
But okay, so it's funny is when you guys couldn't hear me, it's still recording on GarageBand. Like the wavelength still shows up. So it's interesting.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's actually even better.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah. Okay, so Josh is a thumbs up.
Are we thumbs up just for like the whole show or just the last?
Well, I just talking about just my overall opinion of the last 3 episodes because we already talked about the previous 3. So just 4 through 6, my overall view was enjoyed it, had a good time with it.
Okay.
We'll talk more about it, but that's my overall sum.
Okay. Yeah. Do you want to go next, Dan? You want me to go next? I don't know.
Are
we giving overall thoughts first? Like, are we giving like our rating real quick or
just overall? I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't really rate it. I just said thumbs up, enjoyed.
Yes. So for me, I'll go next. So I didn't like the ending. I didn't really like. I don't know. This show was kind of frustrating. It just felt like between episode 4 was not great. Episode 5 was really bad. And then the finale, I just felt like they were just kind of going through the motions and doing everything we kind of thought we were going to do. And it felt very rushed. It was 45 minutes. I felt like it was over so quick. They just had to rush through every plot point and just be like, yeah, they're going to fight and we're going to just do that. And I don't know, we're just going to get it over with. And I just, at the end of the day, I feel like this show, one of my biggest fears was that they were going to shove too much in. I don't think they shoved too much in, but I think in the grand scheme of things, they kind of did shove too much in because at only 6 episodes, I think back to it, like you got to use that time so wisely. And I felt like so little of it was actually spent really on Obi-Wan. He just felt like he was a pawn in the overall game of the plot of just, we got to show all these other cool things. But I just felt like I didn't really get much from him, even though the title of the show is Obi-Wan Kenobi. So I don't know. I was so like, it was literally like at its best, it was like, eh. And at its worst, it was like, this is bad to this is boring.
Wow. So, this is peak Daniel, and I'm fucking here for it.
Wow.
I shouldn't say I shouldn't. Yeah, like honestly, like it just So I just was not feeling it. So Gene, I'm sorry. I don't want to rain on anyone's parade, but
I just want to ask. I just want to ask. When you said that you expected them to like shove in too much, you like kind of like a Boba Fett, like here's every possible cameo sort of thing, or like when you said you expected that.
I was just worried. I was just worried that they were going to try to do too much, but I think, and I didn't really think that they were doing too much in the first 3 episodes. I was kind of happy about that, but now in hindsight, I just feel like for 6 episodes, you really don't have time to do much of anything. So in a normal show, like when you introduce new characters and spend like one scene focusing on them, that's normal. That makes sense. But when you're just so constricted to this very, very limited series, I look back and I'm like, why did that plot point need to be there? Like you need to be like packing with your lightest luggage in the writer's room. You got to be like, take that plot point away, take that plot point away. Again, I just feel like there really wasn't much there for Obi-Wan. It just felt like they were just going through the motions by the end of it. Like, yeah, they got to get it over with and it's all got to get resolved. And yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
But I'm sorry to rain on the parade, but Gene, what did you think?
I quite enjoyed it. Episode 4, was like, it was just bad. It was really terribly paced. That actually was the episode to me that felt like going through the motions. To me, that felt like the whole like we wrote Leia into this situation where she's captured. Now we have to go rescue her. So we're just gonna do that in one episode. And I think it was like the shortest episode too of the whole like series. So that to me felt like we just have to do this. You know what I'm talking about, Dan? And like, we're gonna blow the cover of the officer girl. So to me, that was like, oh, that was just a mess. And then I actually quite enjoyed episode 5. which was
How
basically-
Dan just said episode 5 was the worst blows my mind. I'm
Yeah,
so
Wait,
those are
that
mine
was the
too.
one. Wait, can we just clarify? Episode 5 was the one where they penetrated the Imperial Temple thing, right?
Oh, I'll penetrate your Imperial Temple.
Correct,
No, that was
yes.
episode 4. No, that was episode 4.
Wait, what was
Episode
episode
5.
5 then?
The one where
episode
where they're
4
in
was...
Episode 5 was the rehash of The Last Jedi third act, where they're like in the fucking room and they're trying to get through them, and like, you know what I'm talking about? Like,
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, you're right. So whenever the episode was where he rescues Leia from the Imperial Temple.
That's the
That's
one
episode 4, right?
yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
I'm
that's
Okay,
sorry.
so
then
that's
that-
what you meant.
Yes.
So I think
Sorry,
we can.
yes,
I think
my
most
bad.
people unanimously
Okay.
agree that was
Yes.
the worst
Yes,
episode.
and that's what I
Yes.
mean, Dan. How that also to me felt like we're just checking off boxes, you know. So episode 5 I thought was pretty cool. I enjoyed. I thought it was fine. It's a rehash of the third act of The Last Jedi in a lot of ways, but you know, whatever. I enjoyed the finale. I thought it was cool. You know, a lot of it did also, like, I get your point of like, okay, yeah, they have to fight, you know, whatever. Like, I understand that, but like, I think it was pretty good build up to it, so I quite enjoyed it. Are we gonna get into the episodes, like each episode by episode, or how did you guys want to do it?
I think we'll just skip around whatever
Okay.
points you guys want to bring
Yeah.
up.
So
But
the
overall,
only thing
enjoyed it.
Okay,
2 out
so
of
the
2
only
out of
thing
3 is good to me. you
I
know?
want to bring up about episode 4, because I do agree it was probably the worst, but it was still needed, because it was also the episode where we really start Obi-Wan seeing him like get back in touch with the Force, right? It was him kicking all the rust off with his lightsaber. It was when he was deflecting. It was when he was using the Force to keep the water from coming in, right? So it was an important episode because it started to show you like, okay, he's got to start figuring this out again. He's got to get back on the bike. But I still agree that it was definitely after that episode, and I texted my brother, it was kind of the most underwhelming one where not a lot happened. Now, somebody give me the quick plot point. I can't even remember. What was 5? What was like the overarching plot that like of episode 5?
So 5 is where after Obi-Wan and like after they're saved by the snowspeeders, they go back to the base of like the pseudo rebellion, like the pre-rebellion, and
Yes.
Reva had planted a tracking chip
That's
on
right.
Lola.
Yep. Okay.
And that's
then-
when Reva reveals her plan.
Yes. Quick little side note about that. Remember how in episode 5, like Star Wars episode 5, in the Battle of Hoth, like the whole point is like, we're gonna lose. We have to have our transport ships leave. Remember?
Yep.
Yes.
And how the big thing is they're like, those AT-ATs are going to destroy our shield generator, so we have to leave. But if you remember, one of the points is there were like 3 Star Destroyers in orbit, and they're like, yeah, like we need to get past the Star Destroyers. So you guys remember what they do to get past the Star Destroyers?
They have the
Oh,
big
God.
giant boob nipple gun.
Yeah, exactly. So the entire time I'm watching episode 5 of this show, I'm like, they're gonna leave in a transport, but isn't there just gonna be like a Star Destroyer just sitting right there? Like, isn't that what's gonna happen? Because we saw
That's
this
the
happen.
last.
Like, we saw this happen in the movie, so I was thinking like they need a giant boob nipple gun. Like, no, like Dan, you know what I'm talking about, Dan? Like, wouldn't they have the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
issue?
No, exactly. That's no, I agree. That's a myriad of just things that don't make sense. But that's, whatever. But I get what you mean. But yeah, I wanted to go just while I remember it in episode 4, the whole issue I had where they were doing the stealth, going around and rescuing Leia from the big Imperial Temple, the Inquisitor
The
headquarters.
Inquisitor. Yeah.
in the ocean or whatever. This is something I feel like
SeaWorld.
this is something I feel like that isn't brought up with Star Wars enough. They do the plot point so many times that I never want to see again, where they have to infiltrate an enemy base, and how they do that is they like dress up as the Empire, and they just need to like guerrilla warfare their way around the Imperial base. They've done that so many times now. They did it in episode 4. They did it in Solo. Like, how many times they did it in the Return of the Jedi? Like, how many times are they going to use that plot point where in order to rescue or do whatever we have to do, they did it in the sequel trilogy once, like,
They
to
did it
get
in Rogue
through
One.
the Imperial base, we need to dress someone up as an Imperial officer or a stormtrooper, and we just need to stealth around the Imperial base. Like, that temple thing might as well have been the Death Star to me. They all look the same. It's like such a rehashed plot point. Like, say what you want about the prequels, I don't think they ever used that plot point once, because the whole I'm so sick of the Empire. Maybe this is just on me at this point. I just feel like the plot points are just being so redone and reused. And then like Obi-Wan, like that scene between Riva and Leia, where she's like interrogating her.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit, that was a snooze fest. It was so boring. And again, looking back now, I'm like, why were we spending so much time on that? Like, I guess the whole appeal of that episode was to see them, infiltrate the Imperial base, and it's the temple that could be seen in the cartoons, I'm sure. Like, I just found it very repetitive for Star Wars and boring. And the way that they get out is Obi-Wan sneaks Leia under an Imperial jacket, like the Three Stooges or something. And I was just so bored. But
I don't know. I was gonna jump on what you were saying, Dan. Quick thing, because like I agree with Josh about how the importance lies with that's the episode where Obi-Wan gets back in touch with the Force. He shakes the cobwebs off the old lightsaber. He's deflecting lasers and whatever. But I personally would erase that episode, and I think you could accomplish. Okay, you know what I thought that was going to be, because we see episode 3, Vader fucking drags him through the fire, and he's injured, and they have to drag him onto the ship to escape. And it's like, okay, he's pretty banged up. So I thought the next episode was just going to be him like recovering and having like an internal internal journey or something.
He's good. He's good with
his
5
good.
minutes.
Yeah, he's just chilling. He's like, oh, okay, this quick back to bath state, so I'm sitting there like, oh, I guess it's not what's happened in this episode. So I would do that, Dan. I would have just like kept him in the back of the tank and have like a flashback kind of episode / like internal like emotional turmoil. He just saw Anakin again, and maybe it's kind of like his little like inner turmoil of having to realize like I have to kind of tap back into the Force to fight him again. I think that would have worked a lot better. But I think they wrote themselves into a hole with having Leia be captured. And my friend Remington, when I talked to him about this episode a while back, he reminded me that this show was originally going to be a movie. So his theory is that they kind of just kept that plot from like the movie and kind of like forced it into the show. I mean, we don't know if this is true or not, but that's just his theory. Like, he thinks they kind of tried to keep that whole like talking about like Leia gets captured, because I could see that being like the second act of the movie. But I don't know.
Right.
We'll never know.
I agree with that too. Me and Dan talked about after episode 3, and we were both pretty much in agreement that we were hoping the next episode was going to be exactly what you said, where it was like an internal struggle with Obi-Wan. He had just gotten pulled through a fire and was burned, and he just saw Anakin for the first time after he thought he had killed him. And he saw how he was Darth Vader. He's like a robot. He's in a big black suit. So there should have been. So I'm not going to lie. There was a part of me that at that exact moment too, within 5 minutes of episode 4, he's out of the tank, and he's just going about his day. And I was like, I don't know. So episode 4 was definitely where I think where I come at it is I had zero. I think the only issue I have when we talk about movies or TV shows or anything is like we go scene by scene, right? And so like what we're doing right now is we're taking each scene and we're saying the problems we have for the scene. And where my bias comes in is I forget and I ignore the scenes that I didn't like, including a lot, but I latch onto one and I go, that scene was awesome. I love that. So for episode 4, the only redeeming scene for me was when he busts through the door to grab Reva by the neck, and you hear James Earl Jones go, "You were warned what defeat would bring," and I'm like, oh my God, fucking cool. You're like, oh, I was getting so pumped up just watching that, right? It's like Star Wars is such a nostalgic thing that I love, that all it takes is one scene. I'm like, I don't even care about everything else that happened. That was awesome. awesome. I'm on board. But I can still take a step back and agree with you guys that episode 4 was definitely the most lackluster one, the one that I felt was the biggest disappointment because I love the emotion of Star Wars, which is why I love the finale so much too. And that episode should have been more emotional, where we saw Obi-Wan really go through like, oh my God, my best friend, my brother, he's still alive. I mean, I think he's in a suit. I don't really know what's going on in there, but like he's alive. Yeah. He just tried to kill me. Like, and we got none of that. So I agree with that. But episode 5, though, I think I really enjoyed episode 5 from what I can remember. I mean, that had another great scene. I mean, if you were to tell me, I never knew that I needed to see Darth Vader just grab a ship out of the sky. Just nope. And I'm like, I think I had somebody yell at me because I literally screamed in my living room when that happened. Like I got so excited, and everybody's like, "What's going on?" And it's just him grabbing onto the ship. I don't know. And then the whole fight scene with Reva at the end.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I'll bring up so I'm going to be the person who brings up all the good stuff, and then you guys can counteract it with all the negative scenes that you didn't like. But
no, I like the show. I'm not Dan, Josh. Don't worry. I like the show too.
No, I didn't.
The only part that I'm going to rip into any one of you guys is when we talk about the finale. But go ahead, Dan. Sorry.
No, it's just for me, again, sure, there are fun little moments, but just the show as a whole, I just feel like it wasn't as bad as Boba Fett. They didn't abandon it right away and say, this is just not working. We're making this Mandalorian season 3. But again, I just felt like there was I think at this point, I really just do expect like too much out of Star Wars. I just feel like this is just so kiddie at this point and just appealing to just trying to give the fans like the bare basics. I just feel like you can go again, you're Disney, you have all the money in the world, you have all the money to make the best writers. I just feel like it's not hard to give us those really good moments that we all will love, but also just kind of give us a little bit more to chew on. No, it was funny. You mentioned the scene where in episode 5 where Vader comes in and he just goes and rips that ship. I swear to God, Josh, your exact reaction was exactly me. I was sitting in bed and I was like, ooh! and then Marissa turns to me and she goes, that was the most unattractive thing I've ever seen you do. And then I smacked her across the face and said, shut up, bitch, Darth Vader. And then I force choked her right out the window.
God damn.
No, I was like, oh no. I had this same
it was cool
visceral reaction to seeing Darth Vader rip that ship out of the sky. And it was a decoy. That was so good. But again, I just kept getting so bogged down by the end of it where I was like, where is it going? And I was like, oh no. They just are like, oh, it's only 6 episodes. We have to rush through this as quickly as possible. And because we have like a normal amount of plot points that would be in any other TV show, we just have to rush through so many of them, and some of them to the point where I'm like, what was even that for? We'll get to that. And I just felt like when, you mentioned the back to tank thing, when Obi-Wan gets back from episode 3 after he gets 4 after he gets burned by the fire. Yeah, he comes back within 5 minutes after the back tank. I'm like, what was the point of burning his body? He was it was such a strong choice to do that. And it just felt like you could have gotten the exact same effect if he was saved right before he was put into anyway, that's not here nor there, whatever. But then there was another part in that same episode after Obi-Wan's like, all right, walk it off. He is walking around that little rebel base, and the actor, the black guy, O'Shea Jackson Jr., who is played by Ice Cube's son. That's who that is. The guy, the rebel leader.
It's like, what's his name? Like Reku or something?
Something like that. We'll call him Rek. I don't know. We'll call him Reku.
Roku?
Yeah, and if anyone's in the comments there that's going to bitch and be like, they didn't remember his name, ask me in about 3 weeks if you're going to remember that character's name. But so anyway, O'Shea Jackson Jr., he goes to Obi-Wan. He's like, they come to him and they're like, "Hey, we gotta take this ship and we gotta go like help Princess Leia. We gotta save this little girl." And he's like, "What are you talking about? I'm not gonna help you. I got all these people here that we gotta fly out of here. I can't go on this mission to help you guys." And they're just like, "Please." And then within 2 minutes, he's like, "All right, I'll help you." Like it's like just no like. Why did you even have him deny it at first? I just felt the show just rushing through and just going through the motions of like the plot points. And by the finale, which we'll get to, I just feel like there really wasn't anything shocking or surprising. And one plot point that, again, I just thought was straight dumb, where I really have no idea where they were going with. But yeah, again, I'm sorry. I love Obi-Wan as the, I love Obi-Wan as the, as a character, and I love Ewan McGregor, and his acting has been great throughout the entire thing. I felt that Obi-Wan was so closed off throughout the entire show. He never he's always just been so reserved as a Jedi, but still, it's been 10 years. Like, I just want to, not only did he lose his brother, I mean, just the idea that he lost all of his people and he fought in this war for so long that he was betrayed. I mean, there's so much emotional baggage that you can just fucking rip out of this guy's chest, and we barely scratch any of the surface of that at all. I feel like at the end it was just, he saved the kids that were important to him for his, that he in a way probably views as his own kids, but that's about it. But there's so much else that this character could have dove into emotionally. So that's just where, again, I just felt like what we got, even if we didn't get what I wanted, I feel like what we did get was just going through the motions of, yep, that's what we expected. But that's just me. But yeah, so I don't know all right, so let's go into this next. There was a lot of hype about Hayden Christensen returning. And I remember I did say, Josh, when we first talked about it, that I wanted to see flashbacks of Anakin and Obi-Wan,
Yes,
prequel days, and we did get that. So I don't know, I'll go to you first, Josh. What did you think of Hayden Christensen's incorporation into the show? Did you what did you think about the flashbacks? And
when we first saw the flashbacks, I was a little stunned because I was like, they did not put any effort into making him look young. And it's funny, I had a conversation. I actually watched that episode with my sister, and she looked it up, and she was like, "Oh, maybe they didn't do it because there was so much backlash." Because apparently a lot of people didn't like seeing Luke and other people trying to look young. I didn't know that was a thing, but she was like, "Oh, maybe they didn't try to do it this time too much because people didn't like it with Luke and stuff." So, I mean, I looked past that. I don't know. I loved episode 5 for that flashbacks. I mean, literally watching it, I was thinking of you, Dan. I was like, this is exactly what Dan wanted. I enjoyed seeing that. And I mean, just to touch on the finale real quick. I mean, I don't know if I think I have a new favorite scene in a Star Wars movie.
Ooh.
Hearing the hybrid voice of Hayden and James Earl, and Darth at the same time. Like I said, I came into the show with zero expectations. I didn't know what I wanted, and I didn't know what I was going to get. So now that the show is over, and up until the finale, I was like, what has this journey been about? I wasn't sure. Now that the journey is over, I feel that the show was if I had to put it in a nutshell, it was about Obi-Wan really coming to terms that Anakin is gone. It is Anakin he thought was dead, right? At the beginning of the show. Then it's him learning Anakin's still alive. Then it's him learning, okay, Anakin's not really alive. He's in this suit and he just tried to kill me. And then it's him trying to kill Darth, and then him realizing, okay, he hits the helmet and he talks to Anakin for a brief moment. I'm of the opinion that he talked to Anakin, and then you see the voice change. And oh my God, if you do not get emotional in that scene, get out. I cannot even understand how anybody could watch that, call themselves a Star Wars fan. And when I hear the hybrid voice of Hayden Christensen, hearing his voice again saying, Anakin is gone, I am what remains. And then seeing Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan, saying, I'm sorry for it all. If you didn't like cry, like gross cry, I don't even talk to me. I don't even want to hear it. Like, I lost it. Like, my sister was like, what is wrong with this guy? And I lost it. And I was like, that is what I needed. And that's what the show is about. And I mean, with Reva, I have problems with Reva. We'll talk more about
We'll
that
get
later.
into that. Yeah.
I think she became much more of an interesting character that I cared about at the end, but it took too long. We should have had more of an understanding of why she was the way she was at the end of episode 2 or the beginning of 3. It shouldn't have taken to episode 5 of a 6-episode TV series to find out why is this character the way she is. Once I found out what happened, I'm on board. I get it. It makes sense, but it took too long. But I mean, I really enjoyed Hayden. Do I wish we could have gotten a little bit more? Yeah, but I also feel like it's like the Godzilla effect. Like, sometimes seeing less is better. Like, sometimes if you just gave us a ton of Hayden, it would have ruined it. It would have been like, okay, you're just like, right. I didn't feel like there was like a whole lot of fan service until the end. And I enjoyed all the fan service, the hello there, the only thing I didn't get, and I want to know if you guys wanted this as bad as I did. Yeah. And I'm convinced they shot the scene and they had him say the words, but they couldn't get it to work.
Now I have the high ground.
After he sunk him into the ground, dude, I'm like, say it. I want to hear him say it, right?
I thought he was going to say it too.
Dude, because even the way he starts it, right? The whole line at the end, I will do what I must.
Get James
is
Earl
how
Jones.
The last fight started, and they literally had it rhymed. Instead of Anakin saying, you will try, he said, you will die. And I'm like, dude. Like, I was all hyped up, and I was like, "Oh my god, I cannot believe they didn't say now I have the high ground or something like that." But anyway,
I expected it too, Josh. I fully expected. I was shocked he didn't say it because I'm like, God, I would have been so baller.
You touched on a lot, and I knew you would love it because I was like, "Oh, this is exactly what Josh, almost what you predicted." To give you credit, and that's pretty much exactly what we got, at least with his cracked helmet. I will say that was the one part of the finale where I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like I was like,
part.
If you didn't cry, don't even talk. Like I was a disgusting mess, bro.
Dan's watching his lightsaber duel. Like, this shit's mid.
It's funny that you say that about. It's funny that I think where I'm coming from is where you're saying that if we got too much of Anakin Skywalker, like Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker, it would be the, Godzilla affected less is more. That's how I feel about Darth Vader, because to me, Darth Vader is he's a bad guy that's meant to he just shows up. And they had a final battle. That's fine. But to me, Anakin was an actual person. He was a character. So for me, when they were hyping up so much that Hayden Christensen was back, like you mentioned, Gene, I was almost hoping for a whole flashback episode, because one of my biggest complaints of, as Star Wars fans, we're always told that, Anakin and Obi-Wan were this buddy cop duo, that they loved each other. And I think I mentioned to both of you, I always felt like in the prequels, you never really got to see that too much, in my opinion. I felt like they always really
feel like we don't watch the same movies. Like, I still am dumbfounded with how you didn't see the relationship between the two of them in the prequels. But maybe that's just me. I don't know.
No, I agree with you, Josh. But we'll talk about the prequels some other day.
No, yeah, I always think that I just always felt that they always just really, yes, they have some, but I never got like a really good scene with them where they like really felt like they were always like on these adventures, and Anakin was like, getting with all these chicks and stuff and not being celibate again with the Jedi, and he's like, fuck you, Obi-Wan. He's just like the angsty teenager the entire time. But then what they did was, in these past couple of years with like the Clone Wars series, they showed their relationship in those animated series. Like I said, and I've said this to Gene before, Anakin was completely rewritten as a different character in the Clone Wars to foster that relationship, but we never really saw it to that effect in my mind between Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor in live action. And I just wanted that opportunity, even that flashback where I was like, ooh, they're on Coruscant, and they did like
so
the little.
I wanted to ask you that because I didn't get to hear your thoughts. You did enjoy seeing Hayden, seeing those flashbacks in the 5th episode, correct? Or was it still not enough for you?
It was something. I feel like
it was
something. No. But honestly, I would have been fine with it. But what was the point of those scenes in the story? I felt like when they were having that training, they were just, they were practicing, like, the battle with the lightsabers. And he's like, control your feelings, Anakin. It's not, you don't always need to get the last hit or whatever, something like that.
Yeah, that's the point. It's parallel to what was going on in the moment for Obi-Wan.
And I also think it was important for people. You have to remember that maybe some people haven't seen the prequels. And it has to be a little bit of like, hey, this guy was this guy.
Right.
Before he's now Darth Vader. So, and here's a little bit of their relationship of like what they were.
And I think, Dan, this is kind of showing you how Obi-Wan still knows, like, he's still brash and reckless. Like, he hasn't learned anything, and he was right. Like, the whole point was he's like, I'm in this situation, and he's remembering this other situation he was in, 20 years ago, and it's kind of him thinking, like, oh, like, I can still apply those same things, and Anakin hasn't learned anything. And he wasn't wrong,
I guess just where I disagree is, like, just what they were showing in that flashback scene was like, oh no, Anakin's gonna turn to the dark side. Like, oh, he's like trouble. Like he's cocky. He's angry. He's filled with hate and anger leads to hate, and hate leads to suffering. And I'm like, that has been hammered into our heads.
I think you missed the entire point of that scene, Daniel. I actually think you missed the entire point. The flashback.
What was the point then? But to me, I know that Anakin is dark. I know that he's filled with rage. We've literally been hit over the head with that. Like, again, I just wanted to see a moment where they get along and they feel like father and son. Like, I just felt like they loved each other. I guess that's just for me what has always been lacking. And for me, that flashback was just yes, he's dark. He's filled with hate and anger. We've spent the entire prequel trilogy hammering that home. Like, it just love to see them in the prequel era, but again, I was like, to me, the point of the scene was just showing you again that yes, he's gonna turn to the dark side. Like, so
here's where I'm a little confused too, because you're saying that they touched on that relationship a lot in Clone Wars. So wouldn't it have been repetitive if Clone Wars has already done that? Now they're gonna do what Clone Wars has already done? Right? It also sounds, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like, Dan, what you really wanted at the end of the day wasn't an Obi-Wan series. It was a Anakin and Obi-Wan series building on not the future, not like this time frame necessarily, but more like in the prequel time frame where it was like, oh, let's see them when they're not fighting Count Dooku and when they're not fighting Grievous and they're just frolicking through the fields together, holding hands and having picnics. I'm not even trying to be a dick about it. It feels like your expectations were just different. It was just like, I don't care about Darth. I want more Anakin, and we got a lot more Darth, right? Which I totally get. So we just didn't get more. We didn't get Hayden. We didn't get Anakin, and we didn't get the Obi-Wan that you wanted. So it's just like you would have just rather have seen that time frame where it was like you want more of that father-son relationship, but we're focused on a time frame where that's gone, right? Anakin is no longer there.
Right.
He's gone, and it's Darth. And so I feel like that's why the show really missed for you, is because it wasn't touching on the points that you were hoping it was going to touch on.
Right. And again, I'm not saying it wasn't just like, oh, I didn't get what I wanted, therefore it is bad. What we did get, I just felt like
that's where I'll argue with you, but yeah, go ahead.
No, I just felt like, and the finale again, I thought that, the moment where his cracked helmet and hearing the voice and Obi-Wan like kind of finally getting some emotion out of him and like tearing up and saying like, I'm sorry. Like, I was like, thank you, like a little bit, like, but again, I was like, you have so much trauma in you that you could have other things that you could have harped on. And again, like there was things like I didn't know, I wasn't thinking, oh, I want to see him run around with young Leia. And I actually thought that was a clever plot point at the end. I do like that. So that like it wasn't that I, it's not that I didn't get what I wanted. It was just, yeah, it's just, and there's just more meh to bad for me than there was enjoyableness. And I didn't think but yeah, and again, there was just too much weird, like it just, everything going on with Obi-Wan in the finale felt like, besides the cool, the few moments of the speaking they had between each other, again, it just felt like they felt like they got to that fight so quickly between
I do agree
Obi-Wan and Vader. It just, I felt like it, that's the thing. And again, I think this is nothing. I think this is just a result of just making the series so short, is like, they just had to rush to everything. I really don't feel like there was much build up to anything. Like 6 episodes, we saw them fight twice, and I just felt like there really was no like build up. It was like, oh, like we're doing it right now. Okay. And the first encounter was very underwhelming, but
that's what you get for 6 episodes. Like that's the problem. Like I had to accept the fact that we're getting 6 episodes, so this is going to move fast, right? Do I wish it was longer, and would it have been better? I think so, but yeah, we've touched on a lot of points here, and Gene, we haven't heard from you in a bit. So before I go on a full-on rant on the finale, I want you to touch on all the things that we've kind of talked about.
So quick thing, so the first thing was about Hayden being back. I thought it was. I thought it was used well because, like, he was in the Vader suit. It wasn't like how they shot it for the original movies, where it was.
Can we give him credit too? Do you guys not think that was like the best? Like seeing a quote younger Vader just like walking fast, like and seeing him fight. We didn't talk about the fight on episode 5 with Reva. Like I didn't know I needed to see a fight with the Force versus a lightsaber where he was just like, F off. Yeah. Screw you. You're awful.
And he like nailed the
he did a great job. He did.
And he nailed the mannerisms.
That was cool. I did like that fight.
Yeah. So to me, that was cool. Like I just like knowing that, like, okay, cool. That's Hayden Christensen in the suit. It's not like, it's not like a really tall dude. And then, like Hayden's only in the shots to be Anakin. So I enjoyed that. And, again, I was really impressed. How he nailed, like I'm assuming he probably went back and studied the original trilogy and to get the idea because Vader, like the way Vader speaks, like he's very different than Anakin,
But it wasn't his voice though; it was James Earl Jones. I imagine.
But apparently, Dan, they did the deep fake voice, how they did young Luke and Boba Fett.
Oh yeah.
To my understanding, they didn't actually call James Earl Jones, and I kind of realized, I suspected it because when you watch Rogue One, they did use like real James Earl Jones, and he's in his 90s now, so his voice sounds
old as shit.
He sounds a little tired,
but I think he still sounds like super good.
No, he sounds great. I'm not saying he doesn't sound bad, but like it's listen to like James Earl Jones in Rogue One, listen to him in New Hope and Stein and Day.
You're right.
I was watching New Hope this morning, so it's like still fresh. So I was actually, when I first watched Obi-Wan, I was like, wait, James Earl Jones doesn't sound that strong anymore, and that's why. It's because it's like the deep fake voice. Hold on, let me turn my light on because it's dark in here. You guys can't see me anymore. Give me a second.
The fans want to see your beautiful face.
There it is.
Yeah, but I actually do agree with Josh. I think there was a fine line with like too much Anakin, and I think they nailed it really well. Like I love that shot in episode 2 or 3 of when he's like walking and he sees like a hallucination of Anakin. Like I thought that was so cool. It's like his psyche is like, oh shit. And then I actually really enjoyed the flashback. I'm actually kind of love. I talked with Dan about it the other day. I love how they didn't de-age either of them. Like I actually love that.
That didn't bother me at all.
I wanted to get your guys' opinion on that because initially I was watching it thinking of like both of you guys, and I was like, I once again forgave it because I was just enjoying the show. I was like, yeah. So that didn't bother you guys.
No, I loved seeing them in the Clone Wars aesthetic again. And like again, like you know what? I actually kind of thought how weird it would have been to just see them like been like deep fake de-aged. I think it would have been weird. I think I like how they like I think they recognize that the general audience would be like, listen, we know they're not in their 20s anymore, but also like they're just gonna be happy to see this. And they were right,
Sure was.
So because again, yeah, like look, I've seen a bunch of memes of like Anakin lately from like Attack of the Clones, and I'm like, yeah, he looks, he 20 years is a long time. He's wrinkly. His nose is like different. You guys notice his nose looks different now?
I didn't notice that. No.
Yeah, so like I was cool with it. Like honestly, I was cool with it. And then obviously like Josh, same thing. Like seeing like the mix of the Hayden voice because he has like such a distinct voice, like the way he speaks. So Josh, you've seen Clone Wars, right?
I have not the animated series. No, I have not.
Oh shit. Okay. So
Yeah.
Matt Lanter voiced Anakin. I like him. I like him, but he doesn't have Hayden's voice. Like Hayden has such a distinct voice. The way he talks, his like vocal rhythm is so cool. He's like it's kind of like musical. So hearing that mixed in with the James Earl Jones was so
God,
cool.
bro.
It was I loved it.
So good.
I loved it so much. And if none of you have seen Rebels, it reminded me they did the same thing in Rebels. Ahsoka cuts his helmet, and they mixed Matt Lanter's voice with James Earl Jones, and so it reminded me of that. So I was kind of glad to see that now we've had both Anakin mixed with Vader. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was really cool how we finally got that because Matt Lanter's Anakin just as much as hated than is, in my opinion. Like he voiced him for 6 seasons. Like that's impressive, 7 seasons. But yeah, I loved it. I agree with Josh. I think they realize like the Godzilla effect. Like it's you got to have it just right,
Do you guys not think that applies to Vader too? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I don't think so because Vader and Anakin are not the same character. They've always been treated as 2 different people. We, to the point where, to the point where Obi-Wan told Luke, and this was a rewrite. We all know what it was. Originally, Vader and Anakin were not the same person, which is why Obi-Wan says, your father was killed by my apprentice Darth Vader. But then he retconned it and it worked, But I like how that what became has worked out really well. Anakin even said like, Vader even said I killed him. In Rebels he says the same thing. In Rebels he says to Ahsoka, Anakin Skywalker was weak. I destroyed him. Like I like that he is Vader because he considers like Anakin was weak. He couldn't keep his wife alive. He couldn't keep his family alive. His kids died because of him. So I like that idea that he's just like, I'm not even Anakin anymore. I'm just Vader, But it's like Josh said, I think for like a brief moment when he talks to everyone, he's Vader. I mean, he's Anakin again. I think for like a brief moment, he's Anakin again.
They're bridging that gap.
And I think so, I don't know if this is true. Someone on Twitter said that I guess when he first starts talking to Obi-Wan in his like Anakin voice, like his eyes aren't yellow, but then his eyes do become yellow. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. The internet's the internet. But I loved it. I thought and then you guys quickly touched upon, what did you guys quickly mention? Something else? Not Reva, not yet. I have thoughts.
Yeah, we'll get into Reva.
Reva I want to touch on last because that's gonna that makes me sad. That's like definitely the one thing I didn't like.
Yeah. Just like I guess I called Dan was saying like how Josh said maybe Dan would have wanted the Anakin and Obi-Wan show. I like how often Vader was used because there was like the episode 4, like Josh said, the only good scene is when he shows up and then he's just like, you knew what the price would be for disappointing. Like I like how he only shows up at the ending to fucking like be like, don't like you knew what was coming. I thought that was great. Like kind of reminding you like I'm still here, motherfucker. I like how he wasn't in episode 1. I like he's not in every episode, but I still like how he was included. And I thought it was funny how. It's the same thing with the sequel trilogy. Whenever you see Vader, he's just bossing people around. He like never does shit himself. He's just telling other people to do something because
he just fires people. By fires he kills them and then he promotes people.
And
he kills somebody. He's like, okay, you're the new chief now. Don't make me mad, or else you're gonna end up like him.
Literally this morning, he's like, tear this shit apart. He's like, tear this shit apart. Find those plans. I want them alive. He's just like fucking He just orders you around, and then like when you see him talking to Death Star Council, where he's like, the power of this battle station is insignificant to the power of the Force. And then the guy's like, your sad devotion to ancient religion or whatever. And he just fucking chokes him. And he's just like, I find your lack of faith disturbing. Like he just bosses people around because he's like, what are you going to say to me? Because what you say to me is going to fucking kill you with my lightsaber with the Force, and don't fuck with me. And I like how like this show made him like scary. Like Disney has made him scary. I will give them that. Between Rogue One and this, they have made Vader like a fucking terrifying force. So I will give them all the credit for that.
So one thing too for me that I didn't I always had trouble, even as a huge Star Wars fan, connecting Anakin after watching the prequels and really trying to understand how did, like, yeah, sure, he got his leg chopped off, he became Darth Vader, but like, just the character that he was in the original trilogy, it just like it was kind of hard to go like, how did he go from that to that? And it's a little bit because there's like what 20-30 years in between those two trilogies, right? And it's like we see the lightsaber duels in the prequels, and then you see the first one that you ever saw as a kid between Obi-Wan and Darth, and you're like, what the heck happened, right? So you just have to have some flexibility. But for me, this was the first time where I was like, I really felt, I was like, I see it now, right? Like when his mask got hit and you looked in there, you could see Hayden, but you could also see the white guy that Luke pulls the helmet off of, that's like old and shriveled up.
Like that was cool. Yeah.
I could see both of those characters in there, and I could never really make that connection. And it was really the first time for me that I felt like I was experiencing what Obi-Wan was, which is like, yes, that is Anakin in there, and you see it for the lighting that they did with the lightsabers. When he first gets hit,
blue. Yeah,
his face is like illuminated blue, and it's like that's Anakin. For a brief second, you hear Anakin, and just the lines, dude. I get choked up just talking about it. I tried talking into at work today. I almost started crying at work, and it's just like when he says Anakin is gone.
Yeah,
I am what remains. I don't know what it is about that one line. I am what remains. I was just like, oh,
it's really well done. It's a good line.
It really is. And then just to see Obi-Wan, it's just so simple, but he just says, I'm sorry. I think I'm sorry for it all.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for everything. Like, I don't know. I think, and then when he says, I am not your failure, that's where I lost it.
Yeah.
Where
that was really good.
Was like, that's what released, I feel like, Obi-Wan from like, all the things that he's been holding on to, like throughout the since that last battle with him. It's like that was Anakin saying, I'm not your failure. And I'm getting chills just saying that right now. Oh my God. And it was just, that was so emotional for me. And then you slowly see the red lightsaber, and it's like Darth is back. And that's like, I feel like that's the last time you ever will see Anakin ever again, right? Other than
until
when Luke takes off
until
the
Return
helmet,
of the Jedi,
right? Yeah. But it was just like, and then I don't know if that was all Hayden's voice, but like it's not James Earl Jones or whatever. Like when you hear him say, "You didn't kill Anakin Skywalker, I did." I don't know. Like, do you guys like? It didn't sound like Hayden, but maybe it was, and he did like. He just did a good job at like kind of changing his voice to sound a little like deeper or darker or whatever. But I mean, just that the way that whole scene played out to me, like that is probably my new favorite Star Wars scene in movies or like just that was so. I've always loved the emotion in Star Wars, and seeing that scene, I didn't know I needed that, and I loved every bit of that. Was it the flashiest, most choreographed? No. Is my new screensaver Obi-Wan holding up rocks and shooting them at Darth? Yes, it is.
That
was
my
really new
cool
backdrop. Okay.
That was really
cool. So like, I mean, it's just, I was crying. I was laughing like a little girl at all the good stuff. And it was so enjoyable for me. And I think they nailed it, and they hit my heartstrings just like I wanted them to.
Yeah. I did love, yeah, like Josh, and for me, that started when Obi-Wan takes his pose, and I was like, "Oh shit, he's back!" When he does his like lightsaber dueling pose, yeah. And then he says, "He's like, I will do what I must," which is what he said to him on Mustafar.
Yep.
And instead of Anakin saying, "You will try," he says, "Then you will die," which is what he says to Ahsoka as well, in Rebels when they duel. So to me, that was a cool little callback. He says the same thing to her, like, it's a lot of stuff. But I fully agree. I agree with Josh. I agree with everything Josh said. I thought it was really, really well done. I also enjoyed the lightsaber fight. The choreography was
I thought they did great. They didn't like try to go over the top. But it was like good enough for me where like I really enjoyed it.
I think I liked it as like okay, these guys aren't the same guys that were in Mustafar, but like listen, Obi-Wan's still pretty strong when he needs to be. So, and then like same like Vader, like he's not Anakin anymore, but he's still fucking Vader. And they still showed how they fight. Like Obi-Wan's, I don't know if you guys have watched the Revenge of the Sith fight in a long time, but Obi-Wan's just defending the whole time.
Yep.
That entire fight, Anakin's just fucking barraging him, and it's just Obi-Wan defending the whole time.
Until the very end, yes. And then Obi does go on the offense for a little bit.
And it's the same thing in this. Like, it's just Vader fucking kind of being offensive for most, and Obi-Wan finally, like, he's like, I gotta be offensive too to fucking finish this. And so I love how they do that. Like, Obi-Wan, it just shows his fighting style. Like, he's always defending. It's how he defeated Grievous, just defending until I have to be offensive. I really enjoyed it. I don't know if Dan, you have anything to say about it?
Yeah, it was fine.
Did you not? Well, no. Actually, like, what you think of the duel? Like, what did you think? Like, you think it was like cool?
Just to all the viewers, do not worry. Next time I see Dan, I will slap him in the face for all of you. Okay.
No, I'm curious because I feel like people, always like point out how the choreography for the prequels is like a little over the top. Lots of spins, real flashy, but whatever. I don't care. Like, so I feel like for this, it was like a nice little like balance.
Yeah, no, I mean, I like that they obviously, they slap the lightsabers together. It's definitely, I definitely prefer that at this point to Mustafar. Like, they're just dancing, like, having a dance with it. The Phantom Menace, the Duel of Fates was the best.
Oh yeah, that
fight where they
really
mixed those two things. So yeah, that was fine. And yeah, they're older. They're not gonna, or at least Obi-Wan, they're not gonna be doing that. So that was the actual lightsaber duel was fine to me. I thought it was absolutely comical and ridiculous in the first encounter when Obi-Wan was like, all right, see you later. And I'm just gonna run behind it. That was bizarre.
I love that. I loved it so much. Wait,
going for the high
it was
ground.
so stupid.
Am I the only person who doesn't like that first duel? Because it was.
I mean, I think it just showed how Obi-Wan was completely
that's the point.
He had nothing going for him, and literally Darth was playing with his food, and literally it was like you. And so that confirms to me, right? Like in this later scene, right? It's like it's very obvious Darth could have killed Obi-Wan in that original one. He didn't want to. He wanted him to get his strength back. So when Obi goes to bring that rock down on him, and he stops it, and he goes, "Your strength has returned." But the weakness still remains, and then like shoots it off. I was like, here we go. So cool. Like he's like, okay, he let Obi-Wan get back. So it's like they're going at it now, but it's like Obi was stronger. Like Anakin never beat Obi-Wan. Even when he killed him, it was because Obi-Wan let him, right? And I thought that was really cool. Like Anakin never, and it just makes sense because the next time they see each other in A New Hope, Darth literally says, last time we met, I was but the learner, or you were the master. I was but a learner. And now, right. And it's like this scene still like justified that the last time they met. And the fact that Darth called him master too, I really enjoyed that little thing after he like threw all the rocks on him and he says like, you failed, master, or whatever. And he left him. I thought that was really cool. And even just the little touch that Alan, whoever plays, who's the
Ewan McGregor.
No. Who plays Obi-Wan in the original? Isn't it Alan?
Alec Guinness.
Alec Guinness, thank you. Alec Guinness calls Darth Vader Darth. It's like he's like the only one who calls him Darth. And so when Obi-Wan,
Darth was like a first name in the 70s.
Yeah, and then when Obi-Wan leaves him, like after he sees him and he knows Anakin's gone, it's like that little touch too, where he's like, goodbye, Darth. And that's probably the last time they ever see each other until A New Hope. So I mean, did you not like enjoy it? Like that's the most emotional, in my opinion, the most emotional like lightsaber battle in Star Wars that I've seen. And I love that. Like, did you not feel that emotion?
I mean, I did. I feel like it just like, I feel like it was there. I just feel like I wanted so much more than that. Like, I feel like, and that not to say like not in that scene, I thought that scene was fine. I guess I'm just talking in the show overall. I don't really have necessarily any kind of a problem. I think that encounter was the best part of the episode.
Sure.
To me, I guess I'm just judging the show on a whole. There was just so much that was just, what are you doing to me? Like, that was the only thing where I was like, that works. But in the overall show as a whole, I guess where, when Obi-Wan is in the hole and he uses the Force to push his way out, he sees like the flashes of Leia and Luke to, as kids, like, oh, I got to protect these kids. And that's what gives him the strength to lift the rocks up. Right. And that's like his emotional connection is to these kids. I just feel like, again, like the emotional anchor is that his connection with these kids and his connection with Anakin and his reckoning with that. But it just, again, they're like, because the show was moving so fast, there was no time to reflect on anything that transpired in the years before that. And I felt like that's what I wanted out of an Obi-Wan show. I wanted him time to see him stew and reflect on, like, or just verbalize. Like, the only time we got him to verbalize anything was directly to Anakin's face. And I guess what I'm talking about is, like, in a show called Obi-Wan Kenobi, I don't know how do I put it. I wanted to know more about, like, how do I word this? The relationship between Anakin and Obi-Wan, I feel like addressing that and their duel with that was such a small part in this time frame of what they could have been addressing with Obi-Wan as a character.
Okay.
They're like, we've seen them have that emotional battle in Revenge of the Sith. And I feel like emotionally, maybe not in execution, but in like the story, that was more visceral because that was when he just learned that he murdered all these people. He's had 10 years to like reckon with that. Sure, he didn't know that he was still alive. And again, so I feel like there was a lot more that could have been done. And then just to, again, mix that with the fact that how there didn't really feel like there was much buildup because it was, again, because there are 6 episodes, I don't have to accept that. I can say, yeah, you tried to do too much. Like, you couldn't, this to me, it was rush city. Like, it was just sprinting like to the end. And like, and then when you get to that, the finale, where they are in the plot, okay, so they're running away from the Star Destroyer that's shooting at them, boom, 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 just like in Return of the Jedi. And
That was so
they
cool.
gotta get away from them. And they go, and Obi-Wan's like, he's Vader, it's me that he wants. I need to go and face him myself. And he goes in the little ship and he blasts off away as a distraction. And the Star Destroyer, and again, I'm like, Vader's like, Obi-Wan's in that ship. Turn the ship. Go after that ship. And I'm like, couldn't you have just gotten in your own little ship and be like, you guys keep on the rebels, I'll go get Obi-Wan. And then they turn the ship, the Star Destroyer, and then like 10 minutes later, he's like, I'll take them myself. Not even like, yeah, you guys go after the other. Like, so again, it's just these plot conveniences that I feel like are just so lazy and so like, what are we doing here? Like, and again, that's not like that in particular, that instance wouldn't ruin the show for me, but I just felt like it was doing it throughout the entire show because they're constrained to these 6 episodes. So it's like, if you're going to do 6 episodes, I feel like they write the story, they write the script, and then they say, how do we shove this into 6 episodes? As opposed to, we cannot do this in 6 episodes. We got to come up with some other kind of story. Again, those scenes and those moments are great, but as a whole, I'm just like left like, what are you guys doing?
But I feel like you can say that about all of these. Like, show me a 6-episode series that you say is not rushed.
No, I completely agree. No,
so
I
it's
think
just like, I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. I don't like these 6-episode series, but until Disney wakes up, it's like, this is what we got. So it's like, I gotta take enjoyment from these 6 episodes. And like, up until the finale, I was like, please let there be more. Let there be a season 2. Once it was finished, I was like, I'm good. I don't need a season 2. I don't need more episodes. I was content with that. I don't know what they would do if they were to do a season 2. That would make me nervous, but yeah, I mean, it's just with 6 episodes, you're not wrong, but it's just like this is what we're getting. So it's like,
what I kept feeling with the last episode, it was we got to hit the plot points. We got to go. It was like, we got to go. So it was like, okay, they're rushing after the rebels with the Star Destroyer. They're shooting at them. They're on their tail. They're going to get them. Okay, we got to get them to escape. How do we do it? I don't know. They just turn the ship around and fight Obi-Wan instead. And then we gotta, but then we gotta get the scene. We get the scene, get that scene. That's all that matters. The confrontation, that's all that matters. But again, it's within like the first 5 minutes, like right away, they clash right away. Obi-Wan and Vader. It's what the fans want. Okay, cool. They get their scene. And then what? And then Reva's like, they keep cutting back. Oh my God, Reva is like after Luke. What is going on in that plot point? I don't know. And then it's like, okay, once Reva like learns the error of her ways, they rescue Luke, and they're like, okay, wrap it up. Okay, boom, back to Alderaan. And they get Leia talking to Obi-Wan, and then Obi-Wan he walks off into the night, and then oh nope, it's coming. How do we get the fans to like this show? We show Liam Neeson for 2 seconds, and there you go, folks, and we got it. Boom, show's over. Like, it just, again,
fuck you, Dan. Fuck
rushing,
you, because that's all I need. All I needed was 2 seconds of Qui-Gon, and
then we've already lost the
okay
battle,
with
Josh.
That, Dan. I was like, heck yeah. My sister literally videotaped. I'm like reclined in my chair, dude. And all of a sudden, I'm just like, oh, that's a ghost.
No, I'm not. I'm saying I don't need a whole. No, with the Qui-Gon thing, I'm saying I don't need a whole episode. I don't care about the length of the interaction. I just felt like they just have to hit that little plot point, and that's it. That's the checkbox. Like, yep, we got. And it was so expected. It's so expected. Like, I don't know. Like, like again, I didn't need him.
Like just being such a sad, critical.
Dan, was it?
What's it like?
Dan,
just enjoy life a little bit.
I enjoy lots of things. I just don't enjoy.
You're the only positive other person.
Dan,
I just don't enjoy Disney stuff anymore. I don't. I enjoy lots of things.
But was that Qui-Gon scene expected because the show telegraphed it for 6 episodes? Like they kept hinting like he's gonna show up. Like every time Obi-Wan would, start talking to Qui-Gon and be like, Master, like I need you. Like he wasn't showing up, and you're just thinking that he's gonna show up. Like they're building up to it. Like is that why it was expected, right? Or do you think it was just because like we need a Qui-Gon cameo?
No, I just knew. I was like, okay, yeah, they're gonna. Again, not that I didn't have a problem with it. No, I don't have a problem with how they used Liam Neeson going, I've been waiting for you. And like, he's like drinking a 40. He's like, they paid me 10. You would be rioting in the streets if how much they paid me just for this 10 seconds. A generational wealth just for me to get into this little suit.
Him and Harrison Ford both, man. That's what they got Harrison Ford to beat fucking
exactly.
Skywalker.
But no, it was, I feel like you can, as Star Wars fans, like you can just excuse so much. I don't know. Just overall, again, as I just felt the plot points to they had to hit the beats. They had to hit the beats real quick. Yeah. And then there was again, overall, they got the good scene with Vader and Obi-Wan. Sure. Again, for me, just personally wanted so much more. That's fine though, if I didn't get that. But again, the entire episode, I just felt that I'm just rushing through it. And they're just hitting those points and just no time to like just revel in anything of what happened or what it's just. So that was for me, but I don't know, Gene, if you wanted to add anything.
I do agree with you. The pacing was a little weird. I did feel like I did also feel like it was very fast from Obi-Wan on the ship to now he's fighting Vader. I felt like they did it in a way like we just have to get him on this planet, and like I felt the same way. But like, I mean, that doesn't, to me, that's just more of like a story issue. Because again, I have Star Wars has always had a convenience problem. Like, somehow Palpatine returned. Like that is just a glaring example.
We won't talk about that.
And look, I like The Last Jedi, but I hate how one of the plots was the First Order has figured out how to track through hyperspace travel, and like they don't explain it. They're just like, oh yeah, they know how to do it now. And I'm just like, oh, that's just like I like Ryan Johnson, but that's just bad writing. So Star Wars has always had like a convenience thing. I'm saying like a convenience thing.
Right, sure. And there's certain things that you can. To me, it's always been if I'm enjoying the story enough, there's certain things you can omit.
Like Dan, remember how in Rise of Skywalker they fall into a fucking quicksand and they oh wait, but this is the exact quicksand we need to fall into to find the knife.
Right, don't even. I know.
And then when they're on the Death Star ruins planet, like we're standing in the exact spot we need to be to line the knife up with the ruins. And I'm like, what? How? Like it's convenience problem. Trust me, I get it. And
But
I mean,
anyway,
Rise of
sorry.
Skywalker's is terrible. I don't want to. God, I can't go on that. So I'm like, so I don't know. I'm willing to forgive like the convenience stuff when it's like a good. To me, it's a good show. Like it's like okay, whatever. Like and maybe that was a casualty of the show maybe being rewritten from a movie to a TV show. Whatever. Maybe I don't know. But I can forgive that because I still like I still like where we ended up, and I still like what we got out of it.
No, for sure.
But again, can we talk about Reva? Yeah, I really have some shit to say about Reva.
So
okay, wait. Let me start.
Hold on, before we do, I do want to.
Please.
I want to once again kind of mention something because I've never shied away. I understand my bias, and it's funny because we're talking about plot points, right? And this goes to show I cannot stand in the Marvel universe how Captain America's shield will bounce around and defy physics and come back to his hands. And there's been no explanation why. I cannot stand it. And I need to know why, right? Iron Man, right? It's science. His suit will do nanotechnology. I don't need an explanation. It's nanotechnology. Great. Hulk, bad experiment. He turns green. He gets mad. Great. Whatever. Why does Captain America's shield bounce back to him? Nobody can explain it to me. DM me. There's no reason. My camera's getting all messed up because I'm banging my desk. There's no reason, and I hate it. But once again, we talk about, they can track through hyperspace. I don't care. That's fine. They can track through hyperspace now. That's fine. So it goes to show you my bias. And certain things will bother different people. And right. Captain America's stupid shield is one of those things that I can't get over. I need an explanation. He's got superpower, like he's super strong. Cool. He science experiment. So it's a science experiment, right? Spider-Man, whatever. Shield. It's a piece of metal. There's nothing special about it other than it's super strong. Somehow defies Thor's hammer. Okay,
Dan,
I'm done.
Can you use that as like the Instagram clip of the podcast?
I think we just have a TikTok.
I'm done ranting now. Now we can talk about Reva. Do you remember a few days ago when I referenced this on the last episode when Matthew McConaughey was like speaking at the White House about the Uvalde shooting? Oh yes.
I'm picturing Josh at the White House. Captain America. He had that shield right there. He had that shield, and he goes, and it bounces off of everything.
Josh goes in front of
how do you like them
Senate in the front of the Senate,
he's in a suit
demanding answers.
Tell me what that shield is made of.
I can't stand it. All right, so Reva.
Okay, so let me frame this. So
okay, go ahead.
We'll break this up into two parts. So in
I do want to ask one question too.
I don't need two parts. I can sum it up.
Well, okay. So, we'll break it down because I think there's two. So, in episode 5, I believe, when they're storming the rebel
White House,
they're storming
the Capitol.
They're storming the rebel base. It's revealed just by whatever talking that, spoiler, Reva was the girl in the opening scene in Order 66. She was a youngling.
Yeah, everybody knew, but
right, that was fine. You knew that was coming.
Only like 5 black people in the galaxy. That's not that hard to figure out.
Stop, dude. Stop.
And then he goes, but then where there, I was like, oh, like when this happened, I didn't know what to think about it at first. So then she reveals that her whole plan the entire time. That's all they could have said was like, yes, I was a youngling and I was corrupted by the dark side. Fine. But they go into this convoluted, like you have the mental and motivational leaps of logic. You have to go, what do you think I was doing the entire time? I wanted revenge. So correct me if I'm wrong, but her plan the entire time was to join the Sith, join the Inquisitors, probably kill millions of people in the years leading up to this. At some point, she was planning to kill Vader to get close to him. And I was like...
Well, I think the only thing I would say to that is I think she must have realized that all the Jedi are dead. So there's nobody else who's gonna be able to train her to be stronger other than Darth Vader, right? Other than the dark side.
Right.
So she's like, but I understand what you're saying, and I agree, but it's also like there was nobody else she could go to unless she were to find Obi-Wan. But I thought that was a great point that she did when Obi-Wan's like, let's join forces, basically. And she was like, you don't want him dead. And I was like, she's right. Like, he really, like, he's struggling with that. That was the point, was like, he's like, oh, I'm going to go kill Darth. And then as soon as he sees Anakin's face, he's unable to, right? So it's like, I think the whole point was like, she had nobody else to go to other than him. But go on. I understand what you're saying, but I just wanted to throw that out there.
I disagree because to Dan's point, they showed us a character in this show who's a double agent and still helps people. And I'm not saying Reva's a double agent, but like,
I see what you're saying. Yeah, you're right.
Josh,
you're right.
She can't.
I get it.
What do you mean? The Jedi are dead, but she still knows that there's this like group of people still resisting the Empire. She could have been like a double agent.
I mean, we all acknowledge the fact that her character is awful. I was trying to give her a ever so redemption, like some redeeming qualities, but you guys just shot it to the ground.
And
so
in the first, and to my credit, I don't think Gene listened to our first episode. To everyone, to my credit, you can all like, you think I hate the show. No matter what, I liked Reva.
Yeah,
I
you
liked
Reva
her. I hated her in the first 2 episodes. I thought the and by the way, that's another thing.
We need to talk about how getting stabbed in the stomach does not kill anybody anymore.
But what was the point of
other than Qui-Gon?
The point of having him in the show was just for fan service to show him in live. Like, he had no purpose being in the show. It was all just to show in the marketing. Ooh, the Grand Inquisitor is going to be here, but he's not the new character that we're going to focus on. So anyway, but whatever. So yeah, no, to me, and at that moment, I was like, when they did that whole reveal, I was like, ooh, that's a stretch. But I'm like, okay, let's see where it's Star Wars. You know, that shit happens. People just jump sides. Like, how does anyone trust anyone in the world of Star Wars? Like, they just so easily like jump sides to like one side or the other. Like, I mean,
that's like real life. Like, I don't trust you anymore because you didn't like this or the scene. So it's like, that's real life, Dan. So
I guess, but no. So yeah. So I just, again, but I was at
Gene,
first I was like,
muted, by the way.
Oh, God damn it. I was going to say, yeah, Dan, I'm actively plotting to betray you. So look out for that.
I know. I heard that fire alarm go off. You're trying to destroy this podcast, but so no, yeah. So to me, I was like, okay, weird. That's a stretch, but what are they going to do with it? Whatever. In my mind, though, my biggest was like, oh, what the fuck? When they revealed that was, I don't think they have time for this. Like, they don't have. Why are we spending? Like, again, any other show, I would have been like, that could have been explored. There could have been some sort of backstory. But I'm like, I don't think we have time for this. And even if any time you're going to spend on her, I'm like, time you're taking away from the title character Obi-Wan, and I'm like, this is so uninteresting. Like, and this is such a leap of like logic. What is this adding to your plot? Like, and then what it does add in the finale, you learn, is ridiculous. It was like, but anyway, so yeah, so again, I was like, what are they going to do with it? That was my biggest thing when they revealed that she was like planning on killing him. She was better. I was like, they don't have time for this shit. This is not going to end well with her plot. But yeah, I don't know. Gene, what did you think about the reveal when she did that? Sorry, I think you.
Who said it? Was it you or Josh? Or they should have done it in like the second episode?
That was me.
I fully agree, because then it would have been like, to us as the audience, like, I think it would have been cool. Like, okay, episode 1, we see her Inquisitor, she's bad, we get the gist, right? Episode 2, oh shit, never mind, there's more to her character. She has this other plan. So now going forward, any of her actions, we as the audience, now we're questioning like, oh, so, you know, it gives us like it makes her compelling and makes her interesting to us, because now we're questioning her choices. Now we're curious, like, you know, what is your end goal? What you're doing these terrible things, but like, you're justifying it in some interesting way. Like, it would have made so much more sense to make it earlier. You know, it would have made it would have retroactively made the scene of her interrogating Leia way more interesting, because now we know, like, so like, I don't know. And yeah, because I have a question. I legit have a question.
Okay.
Why did she want to kill Luke?
Right. I still have no idea. Oh, you're right. No,
I have no idea why.
I was going to bring that up. what was her plan?
She
Someone
learns he
explain to me
exists.
her plan.
She learns he exists, and then she's like, "I'm gonna kill him," and I'm like, "Well, why? What is that gonna accomplish?"
So to me,
Profit?
to me, it was the. I mean, let me just say, after talking about all of this, I kind of the opinion that we could have gotten this whole series without her character, and we would have been fine. We would have had to figure out what to do with Leia, because that was the only thing. Like, she was very involved in like why Leia was kind of where she was. So, but I'm kind of totally because my point too, how you don't learn in TV show making 101 that we need to understand why a character is doing the things especially when you have 6 episodes and 5 of them, I don't understand what she's doing until the 5th one. Blows my mind. But my thought, because I think we all have that same thought. She gets the telegram, I'll call it, at the end of episode 5, and it's like, okay, she finds out about Luke, and I was like, what is she going to do with this information? And then, okay, first off, a lot of things to touch on real quick. Number one, the finale starts off with her going towards Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru or whatever, and I'm just thinking, how the heck, what? And then Aunt Beru apparently is a badass, and she's like, "Hun, we'll be fine. It's just the 2 of us. We'll be good. We don't need anybody." Like, dude, have you ever seen a dude with a lightsaber? You're gonna die. And I was just like, I want to watch the series with Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen when they're in their 20s, just slaying people, like, because apparently they're just, I don't know. So anyway,
fighting Tusken Raiders every day, defending the homestead.
I think we were all confused, but the only connection that I could make was she had her battle with Vader. It was an epic failure. She lost. She should have been dead. I don't know why lightsabers don't kill people anymore, but she survived. So the only revenge, right? Because she's on a revenge story, is that apparently she's gonna kill his son that he doesn't even know about. But maybe she thinks too. But maybe she thinks he knows about him, and she doesn't know that he doesn't know. So I don't really know. I mean, that's the only thing I can even guess. But
what was she gonna kill his son? Be like, "Hey, I killed your son." He would be like, "I have a son."
Maybe her plan was to abduct Luke, bring it to Vader, go, "Hey, you didn't know this is your son. His name's Luke. Nice to meet him," and then just behead him in front. Maybe that was. I really don't know. It was very weird.
But what would have happened is the minute she swings lightsabers is gonna be like, "Force stop of lightsaber. I just crushed your trachea. You're dead. Come here, Luke. Be evil with me." We literally saw him. She fucking swung her lightsaber, and that shit just stops. And then he turns around. And he's just like, that shit was so cool. Dad,
I can forgive almost all of it, other than the pacing of her specific character arc was so poorly done. I went through the first 4.5, 5 episodes not liking Reva at all. Dan was on board with it, and that's
at first.
At first. Hello? Dan, are you still here?
Yes.
Oh, we lost Josh.
Shit.
Is he the host?
Yes.
I mean, we're still here.
Wait, just give it a minute. Wait till it text.
Let it buffer.
Hopefully I'll pick that up in the editing. Damn,
what,
we were doing so good. We're still live.
Shit, did he text us? I still have a red icon on my V Live Studio thing. Do you?
Yeah, I'm looking at YouTube right now. We're just watching him frozen.
Okay, so can he come back?
Let me see.
Oh, so he left the feed. He could probably still join then, right?
I hope. Wait, let me I'm texting him right now. Use the link you sent me to get back in. Use the force. So folks, are we still live on Twitch? We are live. This is so I'm so happy this worked. Gene, can you hear me? Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh, his internet went down. He said, "Hold up."
Oh. I mean, we're still live. I'll talk. I was gonna say, I'm with you. I actually didn't dislike Riva at first. I actually thought she was quite interesting.
I thought she was
Because-
way more interesting than the Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah, and I was
Or she
totally
was
fine
fun.
with. Yeah, and like I was totally on board with like this being her character. Like I was totally on board with, even if she wasn't like a Padawan, I would have been fine with her just being like some street rat, you know, like some shitty little kid in some poor area who they found out was force sensitive. And they're like, hey, you're pretty strong with the force. We're gonna make you an inquisitor. I would have been fine with that being the reason why the other inquisitors are like shitty to her, like oh, you're lower class sort of thing. You know what I'm talking about? And
Yeah,
then
no, for
maybe
sure.
her whole thing being like, I'm gonna prove myself to Lord Vader. I'm gonna be better than the rest of you Inquisitors, and I'm gonna be Grand Inquisitor, and I'm gonna be Vader's favorite. I was totally okay with that being her plan. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Whatever, you know, found family, but like a twisted version. I was totally cool with that.
For 6 episodes, you don't have time to do like a twist with her. I'm sorry, you don't. For 6 episodes,
Unless
and
you
even
do it
if
early.
right,
Yeah.
Hello?
I can't
Hey.
believe that worked again.
God, bro, that sucks. I haven't had that internet problems. Do I sound right or do I sound off?
You
sound-
sound beautiful.
Yeah,
Okay.
you sound good.
Sorry about that. My internet likes to go bleep and then just pick right back up a couple minutes later. So, I mean, I'm still recording on OBS, like that'll be fine. But
Oh, perfect. Where in God's name did we just leave off?
I don't know. I was in the middle of talking and I could hear you guys perfectly fine for like a minute. And you guys were like, Josh, I'm like, hello. So
You were saying how at first Dan liked Riva, and you were the opposite.
Yeah, and I was opposite, and all I needed was the like redeeming quality, or just to understand the motivation of her character and why they decided to wait till the end of the whole series to get there. Just confused me, just completely baffled me, and as soon as I found out, I was like, I'm on board. I get it. Did the whole chasing after Luke thing make sense? The more I talk to you guys about it, the more I'm like, wow, that really didn't. I kind of was like justifying it in my head as it was happening, but after talking through it, I would love to sit down with one of the writers and be like, so what was the plan? What was the plan there?
I
Like,
think
what
we need
was
to
gonna
ask
happen?
that about all of
But I
Star
mean,
Wars.
I did enjoy the fact that, you know, Luke's unconscious, because the whole time I'm like, he cannot see her. She has a lightsaber. The first time he ever sees a lightsaber is when Obi-Wan shows him Anakin's lightsaber. Right?
Is it? I don't know.
I mean, the way he looks at it and is
be.
handling it, and Obi-Wan's like, "This is a lightsaber. It is the tool of a Jedi." But like, it was very much like, unless he saw the lightsaber and then got knocked unconscious and lost his memory. But the one thing I did enjoy was, after learning about Riva's motivations and everything, it was like, okay, she's about to strike down Luke. She has all of those flashbacks of her watching all of her people get the Jedi, the younglings, get striked down. And you know, that's what stops her, right? And it's like she could have become Darth Vader herself and just, you know, had no sympathy and just gone for vengeance and, you know, her own motivations and killed Luke, but she stopped. And I did enjoy that, but it wasn't enough for me to forgive everything else that had happened through that character. So that's definitely the thing to me that I enjoyed least about the show was her character. I think they could have done it so much better, but also at the end of the day, to make people like Dan happy, I feel like if they took her character out, if they could have come up with a different way of introducing, you know, child Leia, that would have still been cool, but we would have had a little bit more time to spend on Obi-Wan
and just sit and be like, can we talk about what the fuck just happened?
Because it was
like,
exactly what happened in the prequels
jumping.
sometimes too, where it's like there's so many scene cuts in the prequels. If you go back and watch the prequels, there's like 4 different things going on in episode 1. It's like you got Jar Jar, and then you've got like this over here and this over here. But every time they cut away from the Darth Vader and Obi-Wan battle, where that had me so emotional, and we hopped back over to Riva with Uncle Owen and everything, I was like, I don't care about this. I don't really care. I just want to see what's going to happen with Obi-Wan and Anakin and Darth Vader. And so,
yeah, and
that's my 2 cents on the whole Riva in the whole series. Really,
I feel the same way. Well, sorry, Dan, just a quick thing about the whole, like, every time they cut away, I'm just like, oh, come on, don't cut away to the bad stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, and again, I think that's just why overall, I really do think the show was just kind of like I really thought it wasn't that great because at the end of the day, the show as a whole, that whole Riva subplot was so. I mean, the rules they start breaking in the finale with her, like that is a big part of the show is her character and at the end, the logic leaps that they make, and with Star Wars, you got to forgive a lot of shit. But man, they really test you. Like they test you
But at
so
least
much.
there's not a bouncing shield.
Wait, just to clarify, Dan, so you liked her up until her twist, to my understanding?
Well, I thought, yeah, because I thought for the 6 episodes, and I thought for this show, I guess Disney's idea is with every show they need to introduce new characters to this story. Just because it's a show and there needs to be new characters.
They
That's
gotta sell
fine.
toys, Daniel. They have to sell
Exactly.
toys.
That no one's gonna buy. No one's gonna remember any of these characters in like 5 minutes. Like so yeah, so she so I just liked that she was just a screaming, angry, like cutting off people's hands, raging, like all that she was just an over the top Sith bad guy. And I think for this show, that's all you needed. Just make her a bad guy, like the black hat cowboy, like that's just evil and just good. It's just evil. There's nothing deeper than it. I don't think you need for 6 episodes. All you're doing, and even if it ended up being somewhat of a satisfying character with her arc, I think with 6 episodes, you're just taking away from the title character, Obi-Wan. At the end of the day, even if I didn't get what I wanted, I still felt like what we got was, I just felt like they were going through the motions. They were rushing through the plot points. We got to give them what they want and just do that and then that. There's no time to like sit and like get to know the characters or reflect or just kind of like Gene. We always talk about they have that scene in a bar in movies where the characters just sit and have a drink and talk and reflect. Like we needed something like that. Like you need those moments to just kind of appreciate what the fuck's going on and get to know the characters a little bit more. And we didn't have any of that. We don't have any of that in any of these Marvel shows or these Disney shows because they're 6 episodes and they just got to rush through the fucking plot real quick. And at the end, you're just like,
Hawkeye had those. Yeah, hater.
Yeah, a little bit.
I enjoyed them in Hawkeye, but
it was Hawkeye running around with a 16-year-old girl on Christmas. That was very not creepy. So
there he is. There's a Dan I know and love.
Yeah, no, again, I think, but there is a way to do a good story in 6 episodes, but know that you have to do your story in 6 episodes. I could have spent the entire show with Obi-Wan, or just, again, I get it. You got to have an adventure. I thought the Leia plot was good, but yeah. So anyway, not to go off on too much of a tangent, but so anyway, so when Riva goes, yeah, I guess she like thought that she saw the message of Bail Organa and said, okay, this child Luke is also important to Bail Organa. And for whatever reason, which I still can't even think to justify, she thought that for whatever reason that child would be, I don't even know, like get her closer to Vader, which wouldn't even make sense because the only reason she captured Leia in the beginning was to lure out Obi-Wan. Like this had no connection to Vader. No one knew any of that. So it's like, what? Oh, but that's one thing. So then she goes to Tatooine, is looking for Owen. Okay. And I did have a little bit of a laugh when Beru was like taking out the guns like from behind the little wall. And I'm like, Owen Lars is like the biggest Trumpster ever. There's no way that farming motherfucker is packing all over the place. Like they have guns stored away. I'm like, no, he has guns all over the place. But that was funny. But so then Riva just shows up real quick. She just walks up and she's like, I'm here. She draws the lightsaber. And somehow we watched her like 3 episodes just cut a woman's arm off in the street. Somehow they're able to like fend her off for a good amount of time.
It's because she's injured.
Dude, did you see Aunt Beru?
It's because it's because they show she's like wincing. We literally the whole reason is just because like, oh well, she was injured last episode, so now she
got stabbed. Can we not talk about that? Can we?
I know, and she lived.
I
thought she was dead. I thought she was dead right there.
Didn't we already post the meme on our social media? And it was like Darth Maul cut in half, survives. Emperor Palpatine thrown off a thing, survives. There's so many things. Padme sad dies.
I know they're gonna do a sequel trilogy again where they're gonna bring back Darth Vader. They're gonna resurrect Anakin from the dead, and that's gonna be like, well, and then it's just gonna none of this
That
ever
crosses the
matters.
line for me. That
Nothing ever
crosses the
fucking
line.
nothing matters in Star Wars. It really doesn't.
Everything's becoming Dragon Ball Z, dude. You just take the Dragon Balls, you wish people back. It's like, oh, they're back, they're alive.
But I just this is just it's just I'm sorry, but I hope I'm making myself a little bit more clear now. Like I'm not trying to be a hater. This is just
I know.
I'm done with this.
You
stuff.
are, but
like,
it's fine. I understand why you are.
I'm so done with it. Like I was screaming like a little girl when he pulled the ship, and I was like, ooh. But again, like that's one moment in a 6-episode show where a lot of it to me was very underwhelming.
But like I said, for me, the like it's the moments that carried me through. I feel like honestly, Dan, we're on like agreement on like everything, but it's just the way we decide to view life.
Care, that's
I'm
fine.
just trying to be happy and enjoy it, and I did. And I feel like you're definitely more critical about it, which is totally fine, and you should be.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not like trying to say you're. Yeah,
I feel like the only thing that I'm getting
more.
hung up on is I just don't feel that, like, you even say like you enjoyed that scene where like you got excited, right? He yanked the thing. It's like, is that enough to carry the show for you? No, right? A little bit for me, right? But you can at least go, I really enjoyed that scene. I have not heard you say the words that you enjoyed the scene of watching Obi-Wan crying to Anakin saying, I'm sorry. And that's where I'm like, how did that not
get
you a little bit?
Here's where I'll say I enjoyed it, but I feel like as the writers and the producers of this, you the biggest franchise in the world, you have the biggest everything. That was the bare minimum of the emotional weight they could have scratched. I liked it. It was good, but I felt like that was the confrontation with Vader was the easiest plot point they could have done. Again, it was good. I felt like there was so I'm not saying it was disappointing. I liked it. I'm not saying
that's not enough. That's not enough for me.
Like
I'm literally going to rewatch that scene about a dozen times again after we're done with this podcast, because like I just can't get enough of it, and I'm gonna cry like a little girl. I'm gonna go on YouTube and watch all the reactions that I already spent 2 hours watching yesterday after I watched the episode, and cry with everybody else who has a heart and it's a human being. And I'm gonna love every second of it, and I just can't. I'm sad for you. I want you to enjoy that as much as I did. So I'm sad that you don't. Like I guess
Obi-Wan,
I didn't know they missed that hard for you.
Obi-Wan, his emotional weight has always been as a character, and in this show they kept focusing, which is not unvalid. It's totally valid. His emotional weight was always just constant. Like I mentioned before, when he was finding the willpower to push himself out of the rocks. They showed him those images of like young Leia and young Luke, and he's like, I'm fighting for these kids. Like these are the only kids I have left. Like these kids I find is like family of myself, and I like that. That stuff is all good. Like that's good, but I feel like it's always his emotional weight and his character is always dependent on Anakin, his relationship with Anakin and his relationship with the kids. I'm like, you were a general in the Clone Wars. You were on the Jedi Council. The Jedi like were foolish. Like almost I wanted him to have one of like the moment like Gene when like Luke in the Last Jedi when he says the Jedi were fools. They I wanted just Obi-Wan just to revel or just reflect on everything that happened. There's
sense though, because when we see Ben Kenobi in A New Hope, he's still all about that Jedi shit. Like it wouldn't make any sense.
Not give up on the Force, but I'm saying the way of the Old Republic and just just reckon with every that's more what I wanted, but that's fine. That's not what I got, but that
wouldn't make any sense to the Obi-Wan we see in the original trilogy, you know. And I disagree with you.
How so?
Because when we see Obi-Wan, you know, he's just like this, you know, he's this crazy old hermit, and all he really wants to do is he's just like, you know, Luke has to learn the ways of the Force. Like Obi-Wan is still very much tied to the Jedi ideology. The one who we see who's not is Yoda. Yoda is the one who, in his isolation, learned like, yeah, the Jedi fucked up, and then he even reinforces that in the Last Jedi. And he's just like, fuck, like when Luke's like, oh, the text, he's like, who cares about that? Like it doesn't matter.
Well, I guess I would have. I'm not saying he has to disowned the Jedi and the hope for the galaxy. I'm saying more of the bureaucracy of the Republic, and just kind of, or just not even like reject it, just say like, were we wrong, or question it, or just kind of like, you have like, he was in a war for like fucking 5 years and all of his troops turned on him. Like, there was never a moment where we just got him to be like, fuck, man. Like,
I think that's I think that's the point. I think that's the point. Like, Obi-Wan was such a Jedi that he was all about attachment, the whole attachment thing. But I think that's also the reason why it's so strong of Anakin. I think so. I liked, for me, this show, I think it works really well as like a sequel to the prequels, in regards to like, I think they even showed it. Okay, you know how the first episode had a quick little recap of like the prequels, like that quick little recap
great.
of like, it was really good, right? They showed the scene. Qui-Gon's like, you must train the boy. He is the chosen one. Like, so you forgot, like, he's doing this because his master, in his dying breath, told him to. Like, I need you to train this boy.
Right. And I also think.
Well, just hold on, because like,
yeah, sorry.
And then,
sorry.
And then the boy that his master like left him, and he fucking becomes a Sith. So so he's gonna feel like, I failed myself. I failed Anakin. I failed my master. Like, that sticks with you. And then, so when Anakin says to him, like, I am not your failure, that's a callback to on Mustafar. He says, like, I have failed you, Anakin. I have failed you. This whole time, Obi-Wan has felt like, I failed Anakin. Like, it's my fault. Especially when you consider the last time you see them being friendly in Revenge of the Sith is before Obi-Wan goes to Utapau to fight Grievous. They have a little scene, and he's just like, you're a good friend, you're a great Jedi. Like, it's like a really sweet scene. That's the last time he saw him as Anakin. The next time he sees him, he sees a hologram of him fucking killing all the younglings, and he sees him on Mustafar. So I think it's important to think of all that, and that's actually why I really love this, the way this was all played out. And you see Obi-Wan have like the nightmares, and when he's in the back of the tank, and this whole time he's just fucking like lived in like this like guilt and thinking he thought he killed him, and he just considers him his own failure.
Right.
So yeah. I don't know, and I think I guess you feel like they didn't show enough of that. I think they showed a good amount of it personally.
Right. No, I guess, yeah, again, I guess that's just more of what I wanted, and I had like, yes. So no, but I get where you're coming from, but there was one other thing. Oh yeah, so anyway, back to Reva. So no, but I
was gonna say one thing about Reva.
Do we still have more to say about Reva?
I wanted to say one thing, but Dan, you go first.
Ahead.
No, Dan, you go first, because mine's a question for the two of you.
Okay. Yeah. So she then goes. She decides not to kill Luke, and like in that moment, I'm like, how many people did you have to? How many villages did you have to rape, pillage, and slaughter in order to become like Darth Vader's right-hand person? But yet you see this kid, and suddenly like, I can't do it again. Still have no idea what the hell her plan was. And then
she's definitely killed a kid before too, which is a crazy thing.
Yeah, and then she carries Luke out of the desert, and then Obi-Wan's like, she's like, oh, I couldn't do it. I failed, or I just, am I him? Did I become him? And Obi-Wan's like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. I'd been like, yeah, you kind of did. You've been like a Sith for like 10 years. What the fuck? And then like, what? And then I would have been like, what are you gonna do now? I would have just imagined like Obi-Wan just chops her head off. Like what? Like, that's how her story ends. Like, she just fucks off. Like, what? I don't understand. That was so. Again, I'm sorry. There's lots of things. There's things in the finale to kind of like in that scene with Vader and Obi-Wan, and that for you guys, I feel like it was so great that it excuses other things, which is fine. But for me, I'm like, there's so much other shit in this show that I just felt was so bad, and I'm as a whole, I'm like, fine. But
Reva's like, I can forgive Vader snapping a kid's neck in the middle of a village, but I draw the line at where I have to kill a kid.
Right. Yeah. But anyway, any last thing you got to say about Reva, Josh?
Oh no, I don't. I think I've said everything I had to say about, but I want to hear Gene's question here.
I fully think and wish I would have killed her off. Do you guys agree? Would you guys have killed her off?
Expecting her to, since obviously we don't really see her, right? It's like she was a new character. We knew there was no tension about Luke uncle or aunt, their Obi-Wan, right? We all knew those characters had to stay alive. So seeing her, I'm kind of like, I was ready for her to die at any point and was going to be totally okay with it.
Josh, she clearly walks away into her spinoff. Like, come on. They got money to make.
That's where I'm gonna. No, I'm not gonna be happy about that. She is not an interesting enough character to me to like. Yeah. No, we're not gonna do Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2. We're gonna do Reva. No, I don't want.
And that's my thing. I think she should have died because I don't know how much you guys know about the other Inquisitors or when they die. Do you guys know anything about that?
I know they like all died in Rebels, all the ones that we knew about.
So the third brother who we see, who's like the one male Inquisitor, he gets killed by fucking Maul. Maul wrecks him. It's great. And then Maul's that one's partner gets killed by Maul as well. Like Maul just fucking scrapes them. It's wonderful. Like the way they do it is like fucking the heroes and rebels are just like, we don't actually kill people. Maul's like, well, that's great. I'm not a pussy. And I'm gonna show these guys what real Sith is. And he's fucking scrapes them. Awesome. And it's wonderful. And then in wait, Josh, did you play Jedi Fallen Order?
I did.
Yeah, so you kill 2 Inquisitors in that one.
You do.
I love the way
I think Darth Vader kills one at the very end.
Josh, and I love that. I loved how she like has a moment of like remorse, and Vader's like, you failed me, you know?
Oh, dude, and then when she hears him, it's like pure terror. Yes, and you're like, oh my God, he's coming. And it's like, yeah.
I was kind of hoping either something like that, or maybe just Reva kind of like fights Vader and like knows she can't win, but she's like, I'm gonna hold him off or something, you know? Like, I don't know, like, and
she should have died by Darth, and there should have been none of her in episode 6 going after Luke, because it didn't make sense anyway. She should have just been dead, and you're done.
Or even if she like does survive, I would have been fine with her, like, I don't know, confronting Vader again, and like, or like, you know, some kind of self-sacrifice bullshit. I don't know. I don't care, because I do love the idea that by A New Hope, the Empire's like, listen, all the Inquisitors died as a failure of a project, whatever, you know, like we have the Death Star now, and like, they have to get to that point anyway. Disney cannot at all get to the A New Hope timeline and have an Inquisitor alive. I think it would be completely breaking canon, because again, that whole reason of like, in this 19 years, we tried this program, it didn't work. They're all dead. Grand Inquisitor dead. They're all dead. Whatever, you know. So I'm just kind of like, I hate. One of my biggest Disney qualms, I think Dan might agree with this, is they always introduce a new Force character of a lightsaber, and I'm like, why? Like, why? Like, I like Cal Kestis, but I'm always like, I like the idea of like, look, there's not many of them left, but you guys keep introducing them.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, they keep. Yeah, well, they're digging the well, right? They just, because they're Order 66, there was Jedi during that time period that survived. Apparently, there's like thousands of them. Like,
oh, yeah, they all survived actually. Quinlan
like,
is alive.
They only killed the ones that we saw in the movie. It was only like 10 of them that they actually killed.
Quinlan Vos is alive. Did you guys catch that?
I know. Yeah, that was a fun little. But
we haven't seen him since Clone Wars. But he's like, Quinlan was here, and I'm like, he's alive. What?
They set that up for a Disney Plus show, I'm sure, down the road. Like if like they have focus groups, like if this line trends on Twitter, with that we're gonna greenlight the show, greenlight the next show.
That's why I love when they introduce a new lightsaber character and just have fucking Vader kill them.
Well,
like, I love that.
Even shit. You know what I'll say is like, as a good example, is like that moment when Obi-Wan was on the little truck with Leia, and he has that little conversation with her, and he goes, you know, I never met my mother. I had a brother. Yeah. Like, again, that line, why did they drop that line that Obi-Wan had a brother? Oh, if it tests well, Disney Plus show on the Obi-Wan brother show. But seriously though, I actually kind of like that, because to me, it's Obi-Wan like actually expressing a little bit about himself.
Yeah, we don't
just a little bit about himself that is independent of his relationship with the Skywalkers. You know, like he has his own life. He's had his own experiences, and I needed he was a war general and a Jedi master on the council, and I just felt like all of that, just that traumatic impact of Order 66 happening, I feel like there was so much more to dig into. But again, I'm not gonna harp on that anymore. But
yeah.
Anyway,
yeah,
no, but I agree with you guys. Yeah, I was like, why she should have died? Why did you just have her? Like, what did she do? All right, I'm gonna fuck off and walk into the desert now. Like, what? I'm gonna live a life of being a farmer. Like, because your only jobs in Star Wars, the only career path is smuggler, bounty hunter, or farmer, farmer. Like again,
Yeah.
how many farmers? Like, what if we meet? I want a
No,
character
we got
in Star
the
Wars.
fourth one, the fillet of fish people that Obi-Wan was doing at the beginning.
Oh yeah,
right?
you could be a butcher now apparently.
Yeah, butcher. Yeah.
Like, I want
Yeah.
someone to be like, I'm an insurance rep because everyone just dies. Like, I sell life insurance. Like, that's what I
Yeah.
want someone to be like.
What's the name of that
Um,
company? I want to know. In
Yeah.
Star
But,
Wars canon.
What was I gonna say? No, but I get it. And like again, like I really God, they have to kill Reva off. Like I love Cal Kestis.
No,
as a
I agree with
character.
you.
I love Cal Kestis as a character, but I also love the idea that by the time we get to A New Hope, it's like it's bad. Death Star's built. There's no hope left. Like it's bad. You know what I mean? Like there's no heroes. It's just we're at our wits' end, and our only hope is this farmer kid from Tatooine who is Luke. I love that. You know, it's the true hero's journey. And then Luke destroying the Death Star is what kind of brings them like, oh shit, we have a fighting chance. Like, and I love that. I love the idea that, like, no, by the time we get to New Hope, man, the only person left is Luke. And you know, he doesn't even know it, but he's the only one who can wield the Force and have a lightsaber and has any shot of defeating Vader and defeating the Emperor. And like it's literally the title, A New Hope. So whenever when they introduced Ezra and Kanan in Rebels, they have to figure out how to write these fucking characters off. So it's like, oh, it's like stop creating these forced fucking lightsaber mother characters. God damn it, it doesn't make any sense.
Well,
because you have to get rid of them before you get to A New Hope.
Right. Well, even to your point, like Ahsoka, like she's still out there during the original trilogy. It's like, where the fuck have you been? Which is fine,
she's at a fucking bar just drinking.
Which is fine because it's a big galaxy. I don't know. They're just not around. That's fine. It never bothered me. But you're right. Yeah, it's like I don't know. So yeah. Anyway, I think any last thoughts?
I mean, I honestly, just because this was a great discussion. There's part of me that's very sad on how different some of our opinions are, but also at the same time, I think it's good. I wanna get a rating. I wanna hear a rating out of 5 out of 10, a letter. I just wanna put a numerical value of some sort.
Oh, do we have to?
I want to. It's just this is not for the podcast or any fans. This is for me. I want you to put a number on it, and then I want you to get mad at me when I put a number on it.
I have my number.
Go ahead, Gene.
I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. To me, a 7 is like good, not excellent, not great, but like not bad. You know, like to me, it's good. Like I'd rewatch it. I liked it, and also Obi-Wan's my favorite character, so probably has it with it, but it's good.
Okay,
7 out of 10.
I like it. Dan?
Oh, God, as a whole, I would give it like
this is as a whole. As a whole,
I'd give it like a 4 out of 10.
Woo!
Damn, Dan,
dude. I'm just I don't see the inspiration in Disney anymore. I feel like it's all being made by corporate product, especially Star Wars. Again, Obi-Wan's a character I really care about and I like, and I just it was there. They didn't fuck it up. I don't think they made it terrible. I don't think it was terrible, but it was getting borderline there at the end for me. With the Reva stuff. But so again, wasn't as bad as Boba Fett. Wasn't the worst Disney show by far, but yeah, just was another like ugh. But
got it. Fair enough. Yeah, for me, I think for me, it's like if you watch the prequels, if you enjoy Star Wars at all, to me, it's still like a must watch. It's like it's good enough. Does it have plenty of flaws? Yeah, it's a must watch. To me, it's a must watch just to get to the finale. Like watch the first 5 episodes just to get to the 6. If you want to ignore all the Reva scenes, that's fine. You can do that. They're not going to bring you much value anyway.
It's like Jar Jar Binks.
So to me, I understand my number doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I'd give it like an 8 out of 10.
Okay,
nice.
I thought you were gonna say 9.
I'm glad you guys liked it.
9 has to be like you can't ignore things when you give a 9. I had to ignore too many things, so I can't give it. I can't go higher than an 8.
So Dan, not as good as Mandalorian, but better than Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Okay.
Boba Fett is like barely a show, but yeah. So actually, this wasn't a fan question, but I kind of wanted to ask you guys just because I think it'd be a fun little, just on a high note. What is your? Because I have fun answers for this too. It's one of those things like I'm asking a question just because I want to say my answer, but I want to know what is your guys' favorite piece of Star Wars media. This could be a video game, a show, a movie. You could say your favorite movie, and if you like a video, like what is your favorite Star Wars story, show, video game, movie? Do you have a favorite?
Can I hear yours first?
Oh, yeah, so I was gonna say, I think my favorite Star Wars movie is Return of the Jedi. I love the original Jabba's palace scene. I love the musical number in Jabba's palace. And I thought the Ewoks were fun. I like the forest location. So Return of the Jedi, my favorite movie.
Question: was that your first time? What was your first Star Wars movie? I feel like that has like a big deal for people. Like a first, like I feel like that's usually like a good or like the first you remember. I feel like that has a lot to do with people's like favorite movie.
My first Star Wars movie was I saw Revenge of the Sith in theaters in like 2008 when it came out.
Okay.
Yeah. But but my favorite piece of Star Wars, like anything, is the original Clone Wars series from the 2D animated Genndy Tartakovsky that was on Cartoon Network. That's my favorite to this day. I love the Clone Wars, and I love that animation and everything they did with it, and that those stories, like that little anthology series. So, anyway, Josh, what about you?
I had to think about this one. So I've always, for people who don't know me, I mean, you guys do know me. I've always been a big video game nerd. So, honestly, if we're just talking media overall, I remember when they redid Star Wars Battlefront. I think me and Jason actually went to the midnight release at the local GameStop here. And there's something about video games that I just love. It's that they make you feel like you're in the universe, right? When you're watching a movie or a show, you're watching a character. That's not you. I'm not Obi-Wan. I'm watching Obi-Wan. Now I love Obi-Wan and I love the story, and so I love Anakin, and watching theirs, but something about a game. So when they came out, when DICE redid Battlefront, and Dan, if you don't know, DICE did the Battlefield games, which is just like right. So when I'm being told that DICE is working on a Star Wars game, and DICE does these huge like 20v20, 40v40 like multiplayer games, and you're telling me there's going to be TIE fighters overhead, X fighters, there's going to be Jedi on the battlefield, and I'm going to hear all the pew pews, like. And that game came out, and it had flaws, but it was like, dude, I loved it. I was like, I am in the Star Wars universe now, and I can take control of a ship and fight on this big battlefield, and I can be just like a regular trooper dude and shoot my thing. And just something about the Star Wars sound effects there's nothing better to me than just all of the sound effects. I just love the way everything sounds, the way the gun shoots, the way the TIE fighters sound. They're just so different and original and unique, and they just pull on my heartstrings in a way because of the nostalgia. And so I think for me, it's not one of the movies, it's just the game. And it's because it was one of the first Star Wars games I really played. I played some of the old ones on the GameCube where you were on Hoth, but it was like they're so like basic, and it's just like, okay, take your thing and go around the AT-AT's legs, and he fell over, and it's like, okay, that again, this was the first one. It's like first person. It's like, dude, I'm in the Star Wars universe, hearing these things fly over my head. I love that. Like I crave that every time I watch Star Wars, and I'm like, oh, I wish a new one. Battlefront 2 fell on its face because they threw in so many microtransactions. It's a whole lawsuit. I don't know how much you guys even know about that.
Hey, they fixed that game though, all right?
Dude, no, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
It's too little too late, bro. Like, it's just so disappointing. But yeah, that's definitely my answer. If I had to pick a favorite movie real quick, this might be a hot take. I don't know. If I had to pick a favorite movie, it's probably
nothing's a hot take. Nothing's a hot take.
It's probably Revenge of the Sith. It's probably episode 3.
Yeah. Great movie.
Probably is, because it's just like
the tragedy.
It shows you Darth Vader and how he happened, and that is what made Star Wars for me as a kid. It's like there's this big cool dude in a big scary black suit. That's cool, and he fights things, and it's like figuring out how that guy came to be. That was really cool to me, and how sad that was with Obi-Wan and everything. So, but I think media it's the Battlefront, the remake with DICE.
Nice,
Cool.
nice.
All right, what about you, Gene?
I'm gonna say my favorite movie as well. My favorite movie is Empire Strikes Back. It is the
Classic.
absolute peak of Star Wars.
I think that's the most popular take. Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't get any better. It's just like absolute peak Star Wars. Media, Josh is toward the shreds. The original Battlefront 2, only because
The original Battlefront 2.
Yes, because
Yes.
I have a lot of fond memories playing that after school, like in 8th grade with my friend. Every day we'd just go and and the original Battlefront. I get those two mixed up. Like I remember like the differences, but I get like the memories mixed up a lot. But I remember you could like set up, you could just like pick a bunch of maps and like you could just run through all the maps like a playlist. So we would always just pick like our favorite ones. We would just like play for like an hour and a half. It was just like, I have a lot of good memories with that. And that game really was like the start of like me loving Star Wars. Like I liked it. I was a fucking kid. I was a boy. Of course I want a goddamn lightsaber. But like I have a lot of memories just of like that game. You know what I'm saying? Like that game, and that game was, other than the Clone Wars, the Genndy Tartakovsky Clone Wars show, that game was in the Clone Wars content we even had before the movie and the show. So to me, that was like, I don't know if did you guys play that game?
No, but I know of it.
The story mode for that game, you were like a 501st like soldier. You were like a 501st clone, and there was these cool cutscenes. And I remember like they have you do like the battle over Coruscant, and then like Utapau, and then like they have like a level where you go and like attack the temple. And like I remember like that is really cool. Like I shouldn't even know if it was Tamara Morrison doing the voiceover, but it was like the first time they gave kind of like personality to the clones. And like I remember like the mission before like you attack the temple with Vader, he's kind of saying like the clone kind of feels like a little bit of remorse, and kind of like saying like kind of just like a little bit of awareness of like this is kind of weird and different, and it was just really cool. So yeah, Star Wars Battlefront 2 for the PlayStation 2.
Nice.
Awesome.
I really enjoy it. But I will say with Josh, Dice did a really good job with Battlefront Remake and Battlefront 2 Remake, with like at least like making you feel like you're in like the game, like it sounds like Star Wars. It looks like it. Like when you're playing that game with a fucking headset and like the blasters, and you're just like, oh yeah,
So
I'm in Star Wars right now. It's so good.
It lends itself very well to video games for sure.
Oh sure, it's called Star Wars.
Right, exactly. All right, cool. So I think that's an episode, folks.
Think so. Well done.
Yeah. Let us know what you think of Obi-Wan down in the comments. No, just kidding. I don't give a shit.
Unless you agree with Dan, and then I don't want to hear your opinion. Okay, I'm just kidding.
I don't want to hear it either. Like and subscribe.
Yeah, follow Instagram Next Round on Me Pod. We'll try to be live on YouTube and Twitch every Thursday night when we can, around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Write us in if you are listening from a prison. We'd love to hear from you and your story and why you are innocent and was charged unjustifiably.
No, please do. I would love to hear that, actually.
There's like a guy sitting on death row, like in the chair, like with an AirPod in, like, that's right, Reva made no fucking sense. Like, they're so right.
They get Disney Plus in jail.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so I think we'll fade out, guys. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Love
Take
you.
care.
See you next week. And everyone pause their audio on GarageBand.
Okay, mine stopped. Okay, I have bad news though. I don't have the button to click stop streaming. That's gone. So I don't know if somebody else does. I just have leave stream.
Oh shit. I just have leave stream as well.
Yeah, when we leave stream, we will it'll end in a minute.
Okay.
I'll just go to white screen.
Yeah, at the end of this episode, put in the celebratory music from when they get their medals until we get sued by John Williams.
No, yeah, it was no, that was good. That was real good. Why is this going again? Okay. Cool. So are you guys good for next Thursday? We can do whatever we want.
Yeah, man. Yes, sir.
If you guys see anything you want to talk about, again, we're going to be pretty open. So we can fuck around. We can talk about whatever we want. Just anything you see in the news or.
Actually, I did want to talk about. So have you guys seen that? Like, Wait, Josh, do you watch The Boys?
I do not.
Oh, Dan, have you seen how they're like hyping up the episode coming up, tomorrow's episode, the hero gasm? They're like hyping it up, and everyone, like the writers are like, you guys aren't ready. I'm gonna want to talk about that because it's either gonna be like, I can't believe they got away with all that on, well, not television, you know what I mean? Or is this gonna be like, it was just overhyped, you know what I mean? So
yeah, we can do a lot of jumping around with like small topics. Like if someone's less knowledgeable on something, that's totally cool. Yeah, we could talk. I'll probably watch it. So
I just haven't seen like people marketing like the writers and like Amazon, like they're all like, you guys aren't ready. Like I haven't, and like The Boys is like, we've seen some shit. So I'm like, oh, how bad is it gonna be?
Yeah. No, that'll be cool. So nice.
What
I'm
else?
glad that this worked. I'm glad that everyone was able to the stream
I'm
work.
so sorry that my internet went down.
No, that's
in the middle.
totally fine. We were like, Josh, at one point, Gene was like, wait a minute, isn't Josh the host? And I'm like, fuck yeah, he is. I don't know if he can. I didn't know if you came back in, if you were able to still be the host, but your button went away, but that's fine.
Yeah, my button went away, but we were still streaming. I looked at that. We were still streaming the entire time somehow. So I don't know what exactly happened.
And
but
now it's good because the video is on YouTube to stay, and I can use it as a clip, and we have audio, and I can make a great fucking TikTok out of it of Josh screaming about Captain America's shield. That is so gonna be.
I can't wait to see it.
That is so gonna be the clip. I cannot wait to find that. Yeah, so cool.
All right, good stuff.
Nice, good stuff. So next week Thursday will work for you guys.
Sounds good. Yep.
Awesome.
All right,
what are you guys watching right now? By the way, I'm curious. What are you guys watching?
What shows?
Yeah,
well, you just got done with Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I literally was only watching Obi-Wan. What am I even watching? I don't think I'm watching anything on Netflix right now or anything.
Dan?
Nothing really. Oh, I keep trying to get into the here and there when I have time is to watch the new season of Love, Death, and Robots.
Oh, me too. I haven't had time to watch it.
I'm a fan of that show, so I try to watch that when it's on. I've wanted to talk about it, but I haven't seen enough of it this season to really
I haven't watched any of it.
Talk about it. I mean, I'm watching a lot of movies. I watch a lot of movies on the weekend on my free time when I have a chance. But so no, it's good. The Northman was the Northman. Oh my god, I fucking love the Northman.
What is that on? What did you watch it on?
I watched it on Peacock.
Shit, no way.
Because
it wasn't A24. That's right. They didn't distribute this one.
Right. Yeah,
produce it. Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't think I was gonna like it as much as I did because I thought it got like mixed reviews. Oh my god, I loved it.
Nice. No, it's good to hear.
So we just got done with Stranger Things. Stranger Things. We did an episode on that.
So good, good. I loved it.
Really
when the second part drops, we can talk about that obviously because it's gonna be a lot
for
to talk about. No, I'm watching. I watched the show called Kingdom on Netflix. I really enjoyed it.
Okay,
it's like that Korean zombie show.
Yes.
No one's into the Umbrella Academy because Umbrella Academy season 3 came out, and I'm gonna watch that over the weekend.
I started it. I've seen it. I just didn't. There's only so much, and I like the first season. Only so much superhero stuff. After a while, I can shove in. Like I need a break sometime.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, I'm watching Miss Marvel too. I'm actually really enjoying it only because it's like so like different. It's kind of like Moon Knight where it's like, oh, this is different. Like that's why I'm actually really liking it. And it's kind of like a Disney Channel show. Like it's like just like a teenage bopper show, and I'm like, fuck, I kind of like this,
Yeah. No, I mean, I might wait to watch it until after it's finished. I need a break.
Yeah,
I need a break. Marvel. I don't want to shit on it, but.
I do have to pop out of here real quick, guys. I'm sorry.
But
you guys have a great night. Good stuff. And I'll talk to you next time. Okay.
All right, cool.
All right, man. See you later.
I did want to say, Dan, I kind of want to hate watch Jurassic Park because I've heard people say it's like the rise of Skywalker of Jurassic World. And I kind of like, I'm like, I know it's kind of like, I want to hate, like, I have to see it. Like, I want to see how bad it is. You know what I mean?
Right. There's so many because I don't have the time to watch as much shit as I want to. So I just feel like when I do, I try to watch something that I really want to watch.
For sure.
But yeah, no, I did want to see the new Top Gun. I think we want to see Elvis at some point.
That looks really good. And I heard Top Gun's really good.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, no, but if you watch Umbrella Academy, the new season over the weekend, and you watch Miss Marvel or whatever, and you like, or if you just there's anything you want to say about it on the
Yeah.
next episode, we can make it a topic for sure. Even if we haven't seen it, like
Okay.
Josh didn't see Stranger Things, but I just was like, I would be interested to hear what you said about what you thought about it.
Oh man, yeah, I would have loved to talk to you about
It
Stranger Things.
wouldn't be like as big of a topic. It wouldn't be an episode long topic, but it would be good for you to like you can weigh in on like, hey, here's what I'm watching and here's what I think of it. And it's a new show or movie that people are talking about. So
Yeah. Okay, cool.
definitely would want to hear your thoughts on that if you're into it. So sure. But seriously
Okay.
though, like text me during the week or like when it comes close to Thursday, say, hey, here's what's going on in the news. I wanted to touch on this, and this, if this is okay. And like, we'll see what topics we have and I'll bring them up.
Yeah,
Um,
okay, cool.
so yeah, no, again, like there's not really much like if I see the Northman or like Bob's Burgers, I would just say, even if someone else didn't see it, I'd be like, hey, I saw this, here's what I thought about it. And because I want to hear what you guys think about certain things. Like I said to Josh, same thing with gaming, like if there's anything
Yeah.
new or newsworthy. So
Okay, quick thing. How do I save this again? Like, how did you have me save it
oh,
last time?
so you go to
On
so
GarageBand.
you on GarageBand, you go to share
That's what it
and
is.
then
Okay.
export song to disk.
That's what it
It
is. Okay, cool.
makes no sense because you're not doing it to a disk, but
Yeah, but like I had saved it. Like I was like, do I save this as a file? But yeah, you're right. Okay, cool. And make sure it's MP3.
um,
Okay, it's bouncy now. All right, cool. Look at that.
yep. And then when it's done, when you get a chance, just bounce it
Yep.
over to the Google Drive because I'm gonna edit. I'm trying to get the episodes out every Thursday as a consistent day, but
Yeah.
um,
Do you want to just make like a Google Drive like that we all use, or it doesn't matter?
doesn't matter because I'm the only one that's gonna. I just go into the email. It's very easy.
All right, cool. All right, cool.
Yeah, whatever's easiest for you. Because then you don't have to resend me an email. I already have access
Yeah.
to the one that you send me.
All right, cool.
Yep. And if you listen to the episode that we did this past week, the audio sounds great because it sounds like professional because you record it yourself. No, seriously. So if you
No, it
yeah,
makes a
like
huge difference. Yeah.
so it's good. So I'm glad
Okay,
we
yeah.
hopefully have like a bit of our process down so we won't have to take 3
Yeah.
hours every time to
No, yeah,
so
like,
cool, man.
GarageBand literally is like an interface. It's so good. But yeah, I gotta eat because I gotta go to the gym at
Yeah.
11 o'clock. So I'll see
All
you.
right, man. Cool. I'll see you later.
All right.
Peace
Bye.
out. Have a good night.
You too.